Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover. I'm Randy Dickinson and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California.
Each week here on Video Game Hangover, we usually talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week, however, we are wrapping up a fairly infrequent and somewhat unreliable year of making podcasts by taking your texts, voicemails, and emails while drinking adult beverages.
Yeah. This is the I always remember for the stream where we have like cameras pointed at us the entire time. I spend the whole show just looking off camera at like the outline and the recording stuff, and So anyway, that's why it looks like I'm just ignoring you the entire time. That's nothing personal.
We need an intern for 2024. If somebody would like to do that stuff, be the producer, so DJ can just focus on being the natural-born host that we all know he is, then we could take your applications. The pay is exactly $0.
Right. Yeah, it is an unpaid internship, after all.
Right. What is we'll pay you an experience. You can put it on your resume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your LinkedIn.
Sorry, I'm just tweeting at everybody. I think we're good to go. Did we start the show yet?
Cool. We started the show. We're recording. Is the recording happening? The recording is happening.
Okay. Yeah, we're recording. It's like a real show.
Good. We made it. We made it through another year of podcasts. I said sort of infrequent and somewhat unreliable. I have to own that. I have been the infrequent and unreliable member of our party here.
I don't know if it was you all the time. Yeah,
I've had a pretty wild Q4, so I'll own the back quarter of the year here. It's been more or less on my crazy schedule. So we appreciate our listeners for hanging in there and keeping engaged and certainly chiming in on the Discord, asking where we are, what we're up to. So thank you guys for hanging in there.
Where did you guys go?
Where did they go? Randy doing? But yeah, so we're here. We're back. We should start with what are you drinking, right? Isn't that generally kind of like
let's get
question number one here. So the format of this thing, as most of you probably know by now, is we've been asking you for text messages and questions and conversation starters for the last couple of weeks. And DJ and I will have some drinks, some bevies, and presumably kind of loosen up here and shake off some of the social anxiety that we typically suffer, and maybe answer your questions in a hopefully amusing way.
We can always hope.
Yes.
All right. Well, what do we got? What are you having?
I have what is left of a Samuel Adams Beer Fest variety pack.
Oh, you got a little head start.
Yeah. So I feel, yes, I started pre-gaming already, but the good stuff that I have left is I have a couple cans of Oktoberfest. I have this one I'm very excited about, the Flannel Fest. This is a Dunkel.
That's a terrible name for a beer.
Flannel Fest. Yeah. And I have this thing called a Hoppy Lager. I generally don't care for hoppy, so this is the one I've kind of been saving to the end, but we'll see how this goes. So yeah, maybe we'll get a nice beer buzz going here. How about you, DJ? What are you drinking?
Hold on, I have to mod somebody.
Uh-oh.
Where are mods? Mods. Hold on, technical difficulties.
This is a peek behind the veil there for our listeners. I generally just kind of show up, kind of ill-prepared, and talk into the mic while DJ does all of the heavy lifting, does all the tweeting, does all the production, cobbles together our outline, really sort of the lifeblood of this operation. And I stare at him while he diagnoses my technical issues.
Okay, there we go. Oh, this is going to be a fun show to edit. So you got a flannel beer.
Yep. Flannel
I do like the idea of a hoppy lager.
Do you? I got a couple of them. I'll send you one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Toss one over here. I feel like
push it through somehow.
I don't usually go for like the super hoppy stuff. I don't do IPAs regularly, but like once in a while. Yeah. Lager is like my go-to, so I'm intrigued. I'm like, oh, they're hoppy now.
It was everything now has a year in review. I think Spotify started it. And now everybody has one. In our Discord recently, we've been sharing we shared some of the Spotify ones, but we've been sharing like the Nintendo year in review and our Sony year in review. And I just got one from Untapped,
Oh,
the beer drinkers like social network thing. When you drink a
like,
beer,
do you
and
want that one?
yeah, it tells you how many beers you had and what varieties they are, and then it gives you like global stats. And by like a factor of 3, like the number one beer around the world is an IPA, and I'm like, oh, how? I'm not doing any of the heavy lifting on that. I haven't had an IPA in years, but bros love an IPA.
It's all those guys up in San Francisco.
They must be, yeah. DJ's community.
I'm not. That's not me. What am I having this year? I was inspired. I was watching the stream. 2 of the Final Fantasy 16 voice actors were doing like just a hangout stream, and they were drinking sake, which I kind of forget exists as just like an option of things to drink. I'm always like, oh yeah, beer or liquor, and sake is often its own category somewhere. So I was like, that sounds fun. They look like they're having a good time. I'll do that. So the other thing is I don't know a lot about sake, so I just grabbed 3 from the store. I thought I would just do a little like a comparison here. So I've got this one, which I think is actually, this one actually looked pretty good. This one, I'm holding stuff up to the camera.
Oh,
This fancy bottle here. I can't tell you anything about it. Sorry. So
there's this one.
there's this one. This is very like Japanese looking one, I guess. And then there's this had the coolest looking bottle, so I had to get one of these.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Is that like a twist off, like a beer?
It's
Are you supposed to drink the whole thing?
Can you see this? It's like a little. It's one of those things. It's
okay.
a little. It's like got the little tab on it. And then finally, I've had this one before. Actually, it's the little cup sake with the eyeball guy on it. Yeah. So if you played any of the Yakuza games, this is what they're drinking all the time. What is this? Does this restore your health? Does restore your ability points? I forgot what this one does.
Yeah, you have this sort of the swimmy drunk effect too, where you sort of just stumble around outside the convenience store for a minute or two before whatever the effect is kicks in. Yeah.
I forget which one. It's like I think it was in the latest one, the turn-based one. It's like an item. It's like instead of potions, you just drink a cup sake. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Stop at a restaurant and order a combo plate or something like that.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing. Is just you stop at a restaurant and just click down the entire menu. Just like give me the entire thing.
So there should be like a Yelp or what's the other one? Foursquare? Is Foursquare still a thing?
Foursquare?
No, it's the for like best restaurants in the Yakuza games. It's places to eat. Like
if that doesn't exist, there's got to be I mean, there's definitely an opportunity.
Yeah.
People are confused where they got the best cup sake.
Well, this is our niche. We have a new Yakuza game coming in January. We'll have to get on that.
Gotta get ready. Yeah, get the site up before then.
Cool. Well, so cheers to you. Happy holidays.
Which of these should I start with? Is the question.
Drunktacular, DJ.
What are we doing? Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Happy everything.
Chin chin.
All right. Chin chin.
Bottoms up.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't do sake more often, the more I think about it. Because it's like, I never really have like a bad experience with it. It's always pretty good. So maybe that'll just be my thing.
I generally associate it with like dinner at Benihana with friends kind of thing. So it's like, it doesn't ever feel like you're like, oh, I would like to sit at home in my, well-appointed library and sip on some sake. It's always sort of like,
right.
Yeah. Some guy is throwing shrimp into his hat and I'm drinking. Yeah.
I rarely, like, if I'm drinking at home, I'll just do a beer or something. I don't usually, like, open up a bottle of wine or something that feels like more of a special occasion. But
yeah, that's a big commitment.
Who knows?
Like, you open a bottle of wine, you have to finish a bottle of wine.
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah. And I've never finished a bottle of wine.
Well, that's why we're here tonight.
Are any of those sakes meant to be served warm? That one always threw me off at
I don't know what the
hibachi restaurants where it comes out hot.
I've specifically looked for ones that say like best served cold because I don't know what sort of the circumstances are like when you have a warm sake versus a cold sake. So no, they're as far as I know they're fine to be enjoyed cold.
Nice. Well, cool. Do you want to jump into our first call?
We did get a lot of calls this year. So, yes, thank you so much to everybody who called in. Now we have to make good on our promise and answer all these questions.
Yeah.
But here we go. We have our first call.
Hey guys, it's the end of another year, huh? Well, it must be Drunktacular time. So here we are ready to celebrate Drunktacular 2020. Wait, hang on. 2021? Jumpin' Jehoshaphat 2023. Okay. Yeah, time flies when you don't pay attention to things, huh? Okay, how should I lead off the questions? We'll start with an easy one. When you were in middle school, what were some of your hobbies? Just, what'd you do for fun?
All right. So what were our hobbies in middle school? Question from Greencapped. Greencapped always puts in big work for these Drunktaculars. I think as much as I give you credit, DJ, for doing the heavy lifting, really it's Green Captain who
it's
does.
the 2-man operations, me and Green Captain. I forgot if we introduced the caller, if he did that, but yeah, that was long time listener, friend of the show, Green Captain.
Yeah.
Back again with his onslaught of questions for us this year.
So, middle school hobbies. What was I doing in middle school? How old are you in middle school? That's like 13, right? Are you a teen at that point?
Yeah, it's like 10 to, like 11 to 13, around there. At least that's what I imagine.
So, very into music.
Mm-hmm.
Not terribly into video games.
Listening to music or like playing music?
No, not playing music. I had a brief flirtation with playing music in elementary school. That did not stick.
Maybe we want to hear about that.
Do we want to talk about that? I played the clarinet for like a month.
Oh.
And then my mother was pissed because she bought a clarinet and I dropped it.
Oh, you dropped it? Oh.
I didn't drop the clarinet. I dropped the training, the course.
Oh, okay. I was
my interest in learning how to play the clarinet waned from there. And she was quite angry.
One day I dropped the clarinet on the ground and there was nothing else we could do.
Dropped it like a bad habit. So no, and I never really have been good at playing music. I aspire to that. I'm in awe of people who can play the piano or play guitar and stuff like that. My dad is a musician, and was always confounded by my lack of musical prowess. Mostly into music. Like had a Walkman, had a stereo or a boombox or whatever in my bedroom inevitably, and started collecting cassette tapes because that was the era. Listened to a lot of music, always had a Walkman on. Hobbies wise though, I was playing D&D, I think every Friday night.
In middle school?
Point. In middle school, yeah. I think that was like a late elementary, definitely into middle school thing.
Yeah. That feels intense to me for middle school. That feels like more of a high school thing, but that's awesome.
D&D, yeah. It was, there was a group of friends that we would get together on Fridays at the library. There was like a rec room at the library and somebody would host a D&D campaign and we would just show up and play every week. And I remember doing that for years, like quite a long time.
Huh.
So yeah, probably that. Very into movies. That was probably the point at which, that was the 80s slasher era. So definitely into Freddy Krueger movies and Friday the 13th and things like that. So that was like probably a very formative time in the stuff that kind of stuck with me into adulthood. Video games, a little flirtation younger, certainly came back much later, but not really at that point or in high school, I don't think. I don't remember having a big circle of friends, a couple of friends, a few friends, like reliable lunchroom friends. I had my D&D friends. I had a younger brother who was only 4 years younger than me, so he was like my built-in best friend, and we kind of hung out a lot and shared kind of musical tastes and stuff like that. So it was helpful that we were within a few years of each other age-wise. But yeah, that was probably my middle school in a nutshell.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
how about you?
Nice variety of hobbies. Very wholesome.
Very wholesome, doesn't it?
It wasn't like smoking back outside the convenience store or whatever.
No, God, I've never smoked. Well, I was going to say I've never smoked anything, but that's not accurate. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never smoked a cigarette or anything like that. I did not flirt with illegal substances at all. I didn't drink until I was 20 or 21. So I was kind of a late bloomer in that way. I was very much a product of the Just Say No era. So I always had that in my head of like, a good kid does their homework on time and is, and doesn't hang out with those kinds of kids after school. So yeah, I'm, if the DARE program in my elementary school or junior high and Just Say No worked on anyone, I was that person.
Yeah, I remember, having the DARE officers come to the school and tell you all the dangers of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Matt CD in the chat says he smokes meat for the great flavor. Sure, that's the only thing.
Well, the irony is, just sort of to not overshare kind of current personal situations, I do work in the cannabis industry now. So the DARE and Just Say No.
Good job, DARE.
Yeah, I would like to thank Nancy Reagan for making all of this possible because, it kept me away from the plant for a very long time until I found out it could be quite lucrative for my career. And then I was suddenly much more okay with it.
It's funny how that works out.
Yes, it's money not so important when I'm 13, but you kind of fast forward about 35 years and it kind of ticks its way up to the top of the list.
It's like, how much do people pay for this stuff? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jeez, I think I could be okay with that.
Yeah. What was I up to in middle school? I did play the occasional video game. No, I was like way into video games in middle school. By then it was, it was all over. I did a lot of drawing in middle school. Ever since elementary school, that was like my main thing. Through college, actually, I would just be like drawing all the time, whether it was. I mean, it was actually a lot of like video game characters / comic book characters, like the X-Men.
Is that what came first? It was the comic books and the video games, and you wondering, geez, could I draw this?
Which one was first, comics or video games? I don't know. It must have been video games. I remember drawing a lot of like Super Mario Brothers and like Zelda, Link and Zelda. Comics didn't come until around like fourth grade, I think. I remember very specifically being fourth grade because like trading cards were a big thing, and they got so popular at my school. The school like banned them. so we couldn't bring them to school anymore. And well, but I would still draw stuff. So I would just be like drawing all the time in class and outside of class and all that stuff. Don't do that so much anymore, which makes me kind of sad. I always think about like picking it back up again. But yeah, that was. I feel like that's
kind of in the early days of video game Hangover. You were doing kind of an original piece of art almost every week for the podcast, if I remember correctly. Up to episode,
we used to have little episode art, which
something.
Was
yeah,
it was super fun. But I decided it was just like not a good use of time because it was just another thing I had to do to get the show out. So
yeah,
sadly, we dropped those about 500 or 600 episodes ago. but those were fun.
We had a nice run there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. We had about 100 of them. It's kind of crazy, actually. I mean, it wasn't anything like, the Sistine Chapel on a podcast. It was like these dumb little stick figure guys. But it was kind of unique for a podcast.
Yeah,
I don't know any other podcast that does that.
Yeah. I was in awe of it every week. So Sistine Chapel or not, I was.
You just like seeing your little, pixel art version of yourself getting into shenanigans.
Bearded and glasses version of Randy that looks like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's held up, actually. It's still a pretty good likeness.
Yeah. I've kind of held on to this look for a while now.
Yeah, I'd have to adjust mine a little bit, I think. But yeah, that's what I always think of as my hobby back then. I would just be like drawing and stuff.
Cool. Were you an artsy kid in general? Was it like any kind of art? Were you like into museums, and did you have like favorite painters and things like that? Or was it really kind of channeled into comic books and graphic design in that way?
No, it was always more towards like the sort of like pop illustration side of things. Like I actually majored in art in school, but I was never so much into like art history or like classical artists or anything. I had a lot of favorite sort of like illustrators who I would follow, who would do comic book work and like video game stuff. But no, I'm not a huge, I've never been a huge fan of like capital A art.
just lowercase a.
Yeah. Nothing like respectable. The stuff you get in packaging and everything.
Yeah. I had a college roommate who was very, very into comic books, and in the year or two that we lived together, kind of got me tangentially into comic books, but he was always that. We would go on New Comic Day and he was like, oh, this is the same guy who did the cover on, Batman 352 and could like cross connect all of those different artists and who was doing guest appearances in certain series. And I just did not have the bandwidth to sort of retain that stuff. I can kind of do that now with movies and things like that, but could not hang with comic books at the time.
Let's see. Matt in the chat asked, who were the illustrators? I'm guessing Joe Mad. No, it wasn't. I don't know if I know who that is, actually. I'm a little embarrassed. I'll give a shout out to a couple. I was a really big fan of Adi Granov, I think is how you pronounce that, who would do he was like working on a bunch of Iron Man comics. And he actually went on to be sort of like the concept artist for the suits in the Iron Man movies. So good for him. I hope he's like doing well after that, because those are pretty popular, right? And then Jason Chan, who's probably my favorite illustrator in high school and college, went on to do, I think, a bunch of like video game concept art. I don't know a lot of specifics, but I know he did the cover for Mass Effect 3. So you have that shot of Commander Shepard looking very cool in front of the planet or whatever. So, I forgot how I even found out that that's what they ended up doing, but I was like, oh, I know them. I felt sort of like, I don't know. I had nothing to do with their success, but I was like, I know who that is.
Good for them.
Yeah. I remember when they were just posting weird sort of like Final Fantasy fan art, or like, not everybody, but a lot of artists I follow, you start of like fan art is a common sort of avenue into like following an artist, because it's like something you recognize and you can connect with, and then you sort of like see what else they're up to, because
you're a fan of that thing and you get to the artist by way of that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh man, cool picture of like Sephiroth or whatever, and then you just see what else is in their portfolio. But yeah, I think that was a long answer to that question.
I know. Like, all right. Now, heading into our second hour of the game.
Seriously. What do we have next? We have a question from Russ Greeno on the blog, who says, do you think you'll be playing games until you're very old? Playing Mario Party in the care home, for instance, instead of bingo.
God, I hope so, right? I mean, it's like... That was sort of the rise of the Wii, was always the shots of the senior citizens playing Wii bowling and tennis and stuff like that, staying fit and active by waggling the Wiimote around.
I wonder if they're still using the Wiis in the old folks' homes, or if they've moved on to other things.
Yeah, they're up to the Wii U by now.
Just playing some zombie U, everybody's
right, into it. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I certainly hope so. I came to gaming late, as I mentioned. It was not a thing that I was into significantly as a kid, not to the degree that I am now as an adult. So yeah, I can't imagine that this would fall off. It certainly has not lessened over time. My tastes have changed, but the consumption remains very high. So, so yeah, I hope that as I get to a point in my life where I am unencumbered by having to report to work every day and can retire and enjoy some downtime, that I would fill that time presumably with video gaming pursuits, among other things that are on my bucket list. Yeah, like
picking the clarinet back up again.
Right, get back to the clarinet and justify my mother's money.
Nice. After all these years,
yes,
finally justified.
This one's for you, Mom.
I hope I'm still playing video games whenever that is. Right? I mean,
yeah.
I feel like you said, I missed the Wii era of people playing Wii tennis in the retirement home, but I don't know. I mean, it's just like any hobby you enjoy. I think it's kind of sad to think that you have to give it up at some point, but I do kind of think about like, I don't know if I'm going to be playing a Street Fighter or whatever in the retirement home. Maybe if I switch it over to the modern control scheme or whatever. But, it's not going to be stuff like DDR in the retirement home.
Yeah.
Or maybe by then, who knows?
On easy mode.
Yeah. I do, I feel like that is something, like, if you had asked me when I was a kid, like, do you see yourself ever just switching games over to easy mode? I would be like, no, why would I do that? But more and more, I find that is something that I definitely do. And I don't really even feel shame about it. It's just like, I don't want to have to struggle with this game anymore. So,
Yeah.
So let's just have fun. Let's just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. I feel very much. I feel like I'm the video game hangover pioneer on that concept. Is that I was the the first to arrive at some game that I liked the look of or enjoyed some basic mechanic of, and just didn't want to deal with the frustration of dying every 5 minutes. And so yeah, put it on baby mode. And there's no shame in playing Bayonetta that way, or Devil May Cry or whatever. Just you get to see the fun stuff and the weird stuff and pull off cool tricks. And not have to like stress over like memorizing your combos and dying every 30 seconds.
I feel like there was such a stigma around it, and probably because they would call the easier modes like baby mode, exactly as you were saying.
Sorry.
And it's like, no, but I mean that they would actually like what were the difficulty settings in Doom, right? Like where the guy gradually becomes more and more of a baby. Where it's like it's fine to play it easy. Nobody is a pro, or not everybody is a pro gamer, so don't be ashamed of your gaming skill level.
Yeah, I mean that's some toxic gamer bullshit. That's
that's true.
Gatekeeping or whatever you want to chalk it up to. I think the people who like have conversations about what a real gamer is and what kind of games a real gamer plays. We've certainly never been about that, so I can't see that becoming a thing as I careen into my old age.
All right. What is next? We have a call from Tom.
Hey, Randy and DJ. This is Tom, also known as Twisted Link from the Discord. Hope you guys are having a great holiday season so far. So actually I have a few questions for the Drunktacular. So first one is, what is your favorite gaming memory? Whether it's the time you get a game and stayed up all night to play it, maybe you got a game as a gift for Christmas or a different holiday or event, or play a fun couch co-op game with a friend. My second question is, what is your top game of the year? Is it one that was maybe released this year, or one that you guys played this year? And the third question is, what type of jelly do you prefer on your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? And do you prefer crunchy or creamy peanut butter? Keep up the good work on the podcast. Hope you guys are having fun with the Drunktacular special. And, have a great rest of your year.
Why, thank you, Twisted Link. We appreciate the questions there. Happy holidays to you as well. Question one off the top: what is a favorite gaming memory, DJ? I mean, we've done a bit of a stroll down memory lane already here, I think. Geez. Probably most recent is when DJ and I and a bunch of our other nerdy online friends were most like aggressively into Red Faction Guerrilla.
Most recent?
That's probably my like most recent like crazy video game marathon situation. Yeah, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, the last 15 years, right?
Okay. I was like, that was a long time ago.
It was a while ago, but that's the last time I remember like being so obsessed with a video game and having so much fun actively playing a game with other people that I didn't want to stop, and didn't stop because until like the sun came up.
Time to go to work.
There was one. Was it New Year's Eve? Wasn't it one year that we were we all like ended up playing Red Faction Guerrilla again together until the new year like rang in, and we did so in game and in chat. Yes. And then continued playing it, I think, until well into the next New Year's Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we celebrated New Year's in multiple time zones or across multiple time zones.
This is true. It was right because it was midnight in Connecticut first, and then it became midnight in California at some point. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was very good. It was a very good game for that because there were a lot of explosions and had its own sort of fireworks built in.
Fireworks, yeah.
That must have been. What, like 2009, whenever that game came out? So
probably, yeah.
Man, it's time for another one of those, I think.
That studio does not exist anymore, unfortunately. I'm not sure who owns the rights.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe somebody else could make one for us.
I do really have fond memories of that era of gaming. That was a very weird sort of time period for me. It was like a lot of online gaming, which I don't really do anymore.
Mm-mm.
But it was like a lot of Red Faction and Modern Warfare 2 I would play a lot, which I've been thinking about a lot recently because the new Modern Warfare 3 came out, which has nothing to do with the previous game called Modern Warfare 3. It's a different game called Modern Warfare 3. It's very confusing. But I was just remembering, like, man, I remember staying up so late just playing stupid Call of Duty matches with people I didn't know. And it was great. What if I could recapture that again? Maybe I should play the new Modern Warfare. But
what was the Battlefield game that we were all into as well? Bad Company 2.
Yeah.
We played quite a lot of the co-op on that.
I never got into that one as much. I would
No.
play a lot of like Battlefield 2, Battlefield 2142, and Battlefield 3 was sort of where I tapped out.
Oh, I thought you played the Bad Company one with us.
I played a couple rounds with you guys, but you were like into it. You definitely eclipsed my playtime on that game.
The last online shooter I really went to town on.
Yeah. Man, the servers for that are going down next year. Did you see that?
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so might be the time to get the gang back together.
Have an anniversary round of Capture the Flag or something.
Yeah. No, I don't know if like online shooters could still be a thing for me. I doubt it, but I do just sort of miss the days where I would load up some stupid first person shooter and just play that until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
What was the next question? What is your top game of the year? Well, I think Tom, Twisted Link, whatever your name
Whatever your name is.
We had to save that for our Game of the Year show. We can't just tell you now. Or can we?
Well, I mean, he's not necessarily saying your favorite game of the year.
Isn't that your Game of the Year?
I took it as sort of like what's a game you've spent a lot of time with? Because his question was not, it doesn't even have to be a 2024 release or 23 release.
Oh,
just
okay.
some game
That's true.
you spent a lot of time with, yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite game that was not a 2023 release?
Well, I was quite surprised when I got my Nintendo recap how many hours I spent playing Super Mario Odyssey this year.
I'm not surprised.
I think the ticker said that I spent something like 78 hours playing not Breath of the Wild. What's the other one called? Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But then I played like 68 hours of Super Mario Odyssey this year. So within
a lot.
Within 10 hours of Zelda. And did not, unfortunately, achieve my goal of hitting 100% in that game, but got damn close. And there are just a few obstacles between me and completion in that game. Not the least of which is just a brutally difficult Dark Side of the Moon, endless like onslaught of just completely killer obstacles and perfectly timed jumps that if you screw up, there's no save points. You have to go back and start the whole thing over from the beginning. And I have probably logged 100 attempts at that and just cannot get through it to save my life.
I feel like that's going to be like half of the time you spend 100% in that game. It's just that last section.
Probably, yes. That's probably 50 of those 68 hours. Yeah, so, so that'll be the game when I am in the, what did Green Captain call it? Not Green, what did Russ Greeno call it? The care home that I'm trying to sort of
still trying to 100% Mario Odyssey.
To
oh, man.
Dust off my Nintendo Switch from 2017 and try to get through Mario Odyssey Dark Side of the Moon one more time.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Man, I hope we make it.
Yeah, I've not reattempted it recently. I went super hard with that at the beginning of the year because I knew that once Zelda came out, I wouldn't pick it up again. And I have not, as I anticipated. So yeah, there might be some occasion to go back to that again.
What did I play this year? Anything good?
Played a lot of fighting games this year.
I didn't play that many. I played Street Fighter.
Played a lot of one fighting game this year.
Fighter 6.
My PlayStation app tells me every time you come online, and I'm like, DJ doing that thing again?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I need somebody to know every time I log in at like 2 a.m. just play like one round.
Very voyeuristic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way that I find out is I wake up in the morning and I pick up and check my phone.
Okay, so it's not
in
real
time.
And
And it's not live, but it tells me at some point overnight you did jump on and play some Street Fighter at some point. So I'm like, oh, DJ getting his nightly round in.
This PlayStation app just narking on me.
It's very voyeuristic.
What did I play that was not from this year? I was going to say Live a Live, but that was That was last year, I think.
Mhm.
Man, I'm still grinding away at Persona 3. I don't know if I even like that game. I mean, I do like it. I don't know if it's like a good game, is what I'm trying to say. It's very long.
Yeah. I have to imagine it probably has not aged super gracefully.
No, and I feel like I have more of a tolerance for that kind of thing compared to most people. But still, I can see like they could have tightened this up a bit. I'm real interested to see how that remake turns out. Is that my answer?
That's probably your
Persona
answer.
3?
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4, I'm always playing that. I feel like I played that a couple times this year.
In its many versions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah. So I think those
Resident
are
Evil
probably our
4,
answers.
just the game of the year every year. That's a safe answer. Inescapable.
For whatever new console or device it has come out on.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last question, the most important one. What type of jelly do you prefer on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Do you eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
I do sometimes. I do like a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
I like an Uncrustable. Are you familiar with Uncrustables?
I've never had one. Those are like
Do they
the
have those in
toaster
California?
things. Do they have those in California? I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah.
It's a little round peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the crust cut off, and it's sort of like pressed together so that it makes like a little pocket of bread with peanut butter and jelly inside.
Yeah.
And they're like $2, and you can buy them at Sheetz or at the convenience store or whatever your Circle K or whatever your thing is.
Oh, then you just eat it? I thought they were like frozen. Am I thinking of something
No.
else?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe they don't have them here.
No.
Maybe I thought for sure I'd seen one in the store, but they're like, it's like a little frozen thing, I thought.
Yeah. But I like those. Those are like a good, like, I travel a lot for work, so those are good, like, every service station I stop in, Sheetz or Wawa or whatever has a little cooler of, like, grab-and-go snacks, and I can always grab an Uncrustable and some beverage and keep myself alive for another hour or two. But what kind of jelly do I like? Grape is a good standby. I have no problem with that. As I've gotten older, I definitely lean more towards sort of like no sugar added, no high fructose corns, of like natural grape jelly. I like a raspberry, but the seeds, man, can be a deal breaker. Strawberry,
Yeah, you gotta get the seedless ones.
Yeah,
otherwise it's just sandwich was a mistake.
it's massive dental work after eating a sandwich. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go through with this anymore. Sandwich. I used to be big into grape jelly, but as soon as I realized they make boysenberry jelly, that was like, throw everything else in the garbage. Like, this is all I want from now on. And it's become more difficult to find than it was like in college. I would eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
those are very tart, right? Is that? Am I thinking of the same thing?
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, this was definitely high fructose corn syrup or whatever.
Oh.
But yeah, it's I like boysenberry. It's kind of offbeat, less common berry. Blackberry jam you have to avoid. That's the one with all the seeds in it, usually. So sometimes I get tricked.
And blackberries can be very tart. Yeah.
Yeah, blackberry is not a great berry.
No.
You got to do a lot of work to make them presentable.
Yeah. I don't eat a lot of berries, so
No.
Blueberries, like a blueberry pancake.
I love
That's a good
blueberry.
option.
Blueberry is maybe my favorite berry, but
Is it really? Yeah.
There's no like blueberry jam, or
No.
like something you can get like blueberry. I want to say like preserves
Compote.
or something.
Yeah.
Something fancier than jam.
Is
Is that good in a peanut butter sandwich though? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure that'd be all right. Yeah. To report back. And then crunchy or peanut butter. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter.
Yeah. As a kid, only smooth, but as an adult, I feel like just crunchy. That's the way to go.
I've always been team crunchy. As a kid
Always
and
team
as an
crunchy.
adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like who makes it
mature
Skippy's
beyond your years.
Super chunk. The one that's
Super
like wildly crunchy. Yeah, you need like a what do you call it? Like a bricklayer has this thing you smear. you need one of those to make your sandwich. So yeah, that's I definitely like the wildly chunky. I also like almond butter in a sandwich. Almond butter and jelly sandwich. That's really good. I'm a fan of that.
Nice.
Almond butter, very expensive though.
Yeah, so almond butter I am conflicted about because I like almond might be my favorite flavor, but that's not what almond butter tastes like. You probably gotta like dump a bunch of syrup in there or something.
Yeah, get some sugar in there.
And yeah, it's like way too expensive. So just ignore it. Deadly Gearhead in the chat says he has Uncrustables in my work lunch all the time.
Nice.
And they are in the frozen section. Okay, thank you. I'm not going crazy.
Okay. I've never bought one frozen before. The ones I get, I mean, they're refrigerated, but I've never bought a frozen Uncrustable.
Well, I'll look more into this.
Yeah.
2024, the year I have an Uncrustable.
I've seen a device. I get little pop-up ads on Facebook now that you can put your own like bread and peanut butter and jelly in this little form, and like you put the cap on and twist it, and it makes a little Uncrustable for you. So you can kind of pick what kind of jelly you want, what kind of peanut butter.
I don't need the extra step. Like if you've already got a sandwich, just like that's fine.
You've taken the convenience out of it now.
It's
a lot more steps than I really want when I want an Uncrustable.
Yeah.
When I want an Uncrustable, it's usually, like I said, trying to sort of survive the travel between two stores, or I'm driving back at 2 a.m. from a concert in Philadelphia, and the only thing open is some convenience store somewhere, and the only vegan option is an Uncrustable.
So, true.
Yeah.
Good point. If you were like mass producing them at home, I could see owning an Uncrustable mold or whatever. But it's
just taking all the fun out of it using wheat bread and sugar-free peanut butter.
Making the world's worst Uncrustable. Right. Like, got some alfalfa sprouts in there.
Whatever you do, don't give that to a kid.
Yeah. Some vegan cream cheese. I don't know. Okay, let's get out of there. We have another call from it's from Green Captain again.
Yeah. Oh, that guy.
Time to go a little darker. Not including funerals, have you ever been in the presence of a dead human?
Jeez.
Wow. This is
yeah, quite a jump. There wasn't even like a halfway step in between those two questions. Have you ever been in the presence of a dead human? I don't think so. I'm gonna say no.
I have two stories.
Oh,
well, I mean, the funeral thing, like, I'm not good at like the casket visit at a funeral. I've been very fortunate as an adult, as a human, to have not gotten to a lot of funerals. And that doesn't last forever, obviously. That's much darker than I wanted it to be, but particularly as you get older. But yeah, I've not had a lot of loss in my family, so I've been very fortunate. But yeah, I have trouble with the casket visit at funerals. I don't know what to do. I'm not a prayer. I'm not a spiritual person, so I don't know what that moment is supposed to like mean, and I just feel like it gets like an unpleasant memory of that person in my head now.
I don't think, like, I've only been to like closed casket funerals, and I don't think I would, like, if I had the other option. That's not really how I want to remember that person. I think.
So I avoid that as much as possible. I'll go to the funeral. Obviously, I've done a few of those, but yeah, I'm not a person like go up to, like, I don't know, say one last thing or whatever. Story number 2 is
here we go.
As a teenager, I lived not far from New York City, and we could go to concerts and go to fun things in New York City. And there was one like brutally cold winter, like frigidly cold winter. We had gone to a concert in New York and took the subway back to Grand Central, and we were coming up the subway stairs from the subway station, and there was a person sitting on the steps, not appropriately dressed for the cold, and they appeared to no longer be with us. And there were cops nearby, and people were calling and doing stuff, and I was like, to friends, I'm like, I think there's a dead body on the subway steps. And it was like a sad and awful and scary, like, Stand By Me moment. But yeah, that is the only time I think I've like, guys, do you want to see a dead body kind of situation. Yeah. And it's that was probably 30 something years ago, and I still like quite remember it vividly.
Yeah.
And so it's a little scary and haunting and awful. But I think that's the only.
Yeah. Not a great way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have. Yeah, again, nothing sticks out of my mind. I'm gonna stick with no in this case.
You'd remember probably.
Yeah. Unless it was like, I don't know. This is very dark already.
I really like. I finished my first beer. I'm going to work on number 2 here. So
all right. Yeah, I should mention. So I opened the blue bottle, which is it's actually pretty good.
Rio.
I feel like the weirder the bottle gets, the worse whatever is inside is. Is that how you think about like novelty alcohol?
Oh, that they're trying to sort of hide
They're compensating a bit.
the crappiness of the thing inside the bottle with a cool bottle. Yeah.
You know, it's like the Holy Grail in The Last Crusade. It's like you don't want the fancy bottle. You want the little, the little humble carpenter's bottle.
Jesus was a carpenter. Yeah.
This is the sake that Jesus would have.
If Jesus drank sake, he probably would just prefer an IPA.
Yeah, hipsters.
But yeah, working on the flannel fest now.
Oh, is it like? Can you taste the flannel?
Ooh, it's like a brown ale. It's very I don't know what the word is. It's got some body. It's got some maltiness.
Very bland.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's definitely some winter weight. Yeah.
Wow, Deadly Gearhead says his wife was in the hospital for something minor, thankfully, and somebody in the hall passed away, and it was very sad. Ooh, yeah, that is hospital, not where you want to be.
Yeah, that's rough.
Well, wow, this is very somber suddenly.
Really? Who else has got stories? Bring them on. This is the time for it, guys.
Let's we get another call from Green Captain.
Okay, here's another easy one. In one sentence or less, how would you end all geopolitical strife on Earth and stop human suffering?
One sentence or less. Wealth distribution.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to add some additional sentences here just to sort of clarify my perspective.
No, that's it. You're done. No, you can't.
Okay,
elaborate.
that's all I get. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, no. What was your extra sentence?
Like $1 million for everybody. Like I think that would like literally everybody, whether you deserve it or not. And I'm not even sure what the scale is for whether or not you deserve it, but everybody gets $1 million, and I think that would solve most of our problems.
That would solve. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I would back that.
Yeah. Wait, we've learned in the last couple of weeks that Bezos has built a $1 billion atomic clock somewhere in a hole in the desert, and Zuck is building a $22 billion compound in a hole somewhere in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like, could probably do more with that money.
Those are the guys you really want to rebuild the human race.
Yes.
Mark Zuckerberg.
So I think a little wealth distribution would solve a lot of our issues.
That would be a good start. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know if I thought about my answer quite as much, but I would really like to I would just put women in charge. I feel like men had a good run. I don't even know if I call it a good run. They've had a very long run. But I'd just
We've
like
seen
to see
what you
how
can do, and we're not impressed.
Yeah, it hasn't been great, I'll be honest. I just want to see how the ladies do. Like, give them a chance.
Yeah.
Think, Matt CDs. Think of all the video games they could have bought, presumably with that $20 billion.
Yeah, really?
Probably every video game.
Just not spending their money on the right stuff. Yeah, I'd back you on that, DJ. I think you're certainly onto something there. Yeah. I mean, from a leadership perspective, the best bosses I've ever had in my entire life, without exception, have been women. So if that's, a highly unscientific perspective on this, but yeah, when it comes to leadership, I think it's much less toxic and weird.
Yeah. That's sort of been my experience. So it's not just an arbitrary thing, what I'm saying, hopefully.
Someday. Other countries have it. Other countries have figured it out.
Yeah, other countries seem to be doing okay. Not all of them, but,
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
What else you got?
We have another question from Russ Greeno on the blog, who says, if you were to be killed in a video game, which game would you like to go out in? Some examples, I like these. A fatality in Mortal Kombat, or being stealthily taken out by Agent 47, or stomped on by Mario and Luigi. I know what my answer is.
Do you?
Yeah.
I can only think of really pervy stuff. I can't. I'm like, all of my answers have like Bayonetta or Lady Dimitrescu in them.
I see.
Like, yeah, yeah. Remember sort of the height of the Resident Evil Lady Dimitrescu? This is the 9 foot tall vampire queen or whatever. People just wanted her to sit on them.
I don't know how that just became like was that everybody's secret thing that they wanted to have happen to them?
It's that the fetish that we all hid, and suddenly everybody on the internet was into it, and it was cool.
Then it's just out there. Yes, yeah, so like, oh, you too? Or
I thought I was alone.
I don't know how that became a thing, but it's weird. I feel weird trying to be a fan of Lady Dimitrescu because I'm just like, oh yeah, 9-foot tall vampire woman. That's awesome. No, it's not like a fetish thing. I just think an enormous vampire woman is cool. Like, is that okay? Is that your answer, Lady Dimitrescu? Resident
Sure.
8?
I mean, that would certainly be the fun way to go, I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
The stomping death has to be horrible. That can't be. Although, like in the Nintendo games,
stomped by Mario.
Yeah, by Mario, they just sort of like blink out of existence. So that might be. Yeah, I think all the Agent 47 stuff would be just hyper violent. Yeah, something quick, something painless.
He usually just shoots them, right? Like sniper rifle from across the map.
Well, there's a lot of like piano wire and
yeah, I guess half
like
the time it depends. Like if it's going badly, maybe he has to like hit you with a briefcase a bunch of times.
Sure, choose your death.
Yeah,
I choose something quick.
I would want to die in Animal Crossing. I want those characters to experience death. I want to know what that would be like. I don't think anything ever dies in Animal Crossing, right? Except for all the animals that you cook.
Just turnips. Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like it would be very pleasant. I don't even know what the method would be. Maybe just dying of old age. Oh, no, but it says if you were to be killed. Who would kill me in Animal Crossing? Who's the most likely villager or character to murder someone?
The bunny rabbit. The creepy Easter bunny. Yeah,
that's true. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, you could like accidental death in Animal Crossing. You could fall off the boat. You could fall off the train, get hit by the train.
Get hit by the train.
Yeah. There's a lot of bee stings. I've been stung by hornets hundreds of times, and that's a thing.
Always fine though.
Anaphylactic shock and stuff like that. Nobody ever has to go to the hospital.
Yeah. So I feel like just death is just a foreign concept to all those animals, except the bunny rabbit, obviously. So yeah, I would pick Animal Crossing just to see what happens.
You want to bring death to the Animal Crossing universe?
Yeah. And that would be the last fun Animal Crossing game. The next one would be all like grimdark Animal Crossing Origins or whatever. Matt in the chat says Tom Nook would be the murderer. And Deadly Gearhead says Hopper? Which is that one of the frogs?
Hopper. Oh no, Hopper's the bunny.
Oh, is that the bunny's name? Okay.
That's the bunny rabbit, right? For the Easter bunny.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely killed somebody previously.
Yeah, I don't think Tom Nook's a killer unless you don't pay, but he's very generous about
No, I don't. I think people paint Tom Nook in the wrong light all the time. I think Tom Nook's fine. Tom Nook is a stand-up guy.
An interest-free, endlessly repayable loan. It's more than you're going to get anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I think
I would defend Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we have next. We have another call from Green Captain.
Next question. Have either of you ever told anybody about that one time in college?
I love telling people about that one time in college.
Oh, really? Your one time might be different than my one.
Okay. I assume he's talking about that time my friends and I ran across the freeway.
Oh,
is that not what do you think he's asking about?
I am again. Maybe this is just my axe to grind here on the show is I immediately went pervy with that. So
that one weekend with Lady Dimitrescu,
right? Exactly. Yes. Yeah. No, it was like I mentioned earlier, I was a late bloomer. So college was the first time I was out of the house for any period of time. It's the first time I had alcohol as an adult. So yeah, there are a few things in the back of my brain that I have regrets about that. Are not embarrassing or anything, but just I don't know if that was a smart choice. So yeah, do I tell those stories? Not often. No, I've not really told a lot of people about that.
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, no regrets. Everything you do is sort of get you to this point, right?
It's like not because the statute of limitations hasn't worn off, but you just don't. You're not proud of it or whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I've never ran across a highway.
No, my friends and I, in retrospect, like the more I remember back on it, I'm not sure why we did this. It was freshman year and we needed to get to the grocery store. I don't know why we need to get to this one specifically. There were more grocery stores. I think like what it must have been is one of my friends was like vegetarian or something. Or no, she was really into soy milk. And believe it or not, it was not as widespread of a thing back then. So it was like, oh, we found a store that has it. Let's go get it. And none of us had cars. So we had to take the bus, and the bus wouldn't stop in the correct place. And the only way we get to the store was to cross the freeway. And we're just like, well, we discovered this as we were getting off the bus. And we decided, we come all this way. We could either just turn around, go home without the soy milk, or we could just cross this 4-lane highway. And we opted for the latter, and it was fine. We all made it back home with the
right.
The soy
You're here to
milk,
tell the story
like,
now, so yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Like a busy highway, like
I mean, it wasn't
danger?
like what's the one in the 405? It wasn't like that.
Yeah,
but like there were cars driving on it. It's the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous.
I wouldn't probably not a smart thing to do. Especially considering why we were doing it, but we did it, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one of those stories. I don't remember a lot of very dangerous things that I chose to do, just embarrassing things. So yeah. It was never up for bodily harm, just sort of humiliation.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I wouldn't tell those stories either, if it was just something very embarrassing. Although there might be a chance later on, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I still have 3 more beers.
All right. Okay, we have another call from, you'll never believe who it's from.
I have to admit, like others have stated, I'm one of those people who don't necessarily believe you two are drinking enough, or at least seem actively drunk enough during the Drunktaculars. So my question is, what's the stupidest thing you've ever done in your life while really drunk?
All right, now's your chance.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my previous sort of half-told story. Just a questionable relationship choices. Yeah, that by the clear light of day the next morning, I was like, "What have I done? What am I thinking?" So yeah. Without suffering the wrath of Twitch.tv. Well, I guess anything goes on Twitch at this point, but yeah, I'll leave it at that.
As long as you don't draw a picture of it.
Because I don't show videos. I've prepared a slideshow.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I think I am generally a more reserved person. I think I'm not the loudest or most outgoing or funnest person to be around at parties. I tend to be a bit more of a somber drinker. But yeah, definitely those inhibitions start to fall off the further you get into that experience. And yeah, have gotten a little wild. I mean, not in the last 20 years, but I had a pretty good run up to that point.
That's fine. You live to tell the tale.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of binge drinking as an adult. I feel like I've definitely eliminated many of the scenarios from my adult life where I find myself drunk on a city street.
Man, I wish I had more of those opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. It depends what city. Probably not.
Come to Pennsylvania, DJ. Let's go.
Can you drink in public there?
That's the Drunktacular next year.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I mean, I don't know what the bottle laws are or the open beverage laws are, but nobody in Harrisburg gets arrested for anything. Downtown smells perpetually like weed, constantly. Anywhere you go in an outdoor space.
Can you just smoke outside?
They have the police in the city of Harrisburg won't arrest you for personal consumption use. So I think you're not allowed to go to an elementary school park and light up. But yeah, they won't arrest you if you've got a personal use stash.
I'm still not totally clear what the rules are in California. even though it's supposedly it's been legal for a while here, I don't know if you can smoke in public. But
well, California has like consumption lounges, right? You can go to a place to consume among your fellow humans, I think, and that doesn't exist in Pennsylvania.
Yes. Yes, I mean, like, people are consuming. I just don't know what the specific laws say.
The city has bestowed that upon them, is it not?
Yeah. I think it's like, I may just be thinking about the terms of my apartment lease, where I don't think you're allowed to smoke, like, whatever it is, indoors, which, like, I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to smoke anything, I'd have to, like, make a whole afternoon out of it. Just like, I don't know how it works.
There's travel involved. You have to figure out how to get home.
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's another concern. Oh, I didn't answer the question. What's the stupidest thing you've done while drunk?
Yeah, what was the question? Yeah.
What is the stupidest thing? I don't know if I've done anything, like, stupid that I regret. I don't, like, I generally don't get drunk enough in public to, like, do stupid stuff. But my favorite thing that I did while I was out was actually, I think it was the year we were at PAX East in Boston. I was checking out some bar one of my friends recommended, and they had an amazing, like, apple cider, like a hard cider. So I was enjoying it. And on the way back, I was taking the tea back to wherever I was staying, my Airbnb. And I was like, okay, I've had a few ciders. I feel like I'm totally fine, though. I'm just going to play this off, be real cool about it. So I got on the tea. I'm the only one on there besides the driver. And I take out my card to swipe or whatever you do. And it's just like I spent an entire minute trying to, like, swipe my credit card. And I was just like, I don't understand why it's not working. Why is it working? And the driver wasn't saying anything. He was just, like, watching me. Clearly he's not doing the right thing. And then I figured it out. So
excellent.
I feel like, could have done a lot worse.
Yeah.
But that's when I realized, like, oh, maybe I had more cider than I thought. Maybe I should walk this off.
Just bad cider drunk.
That's what they call me. Just the bad cider drunk.
Yeah.
Deadly Gearhead in chat says he sang Creed songs to his dog on his porch.
Wow.
And there's a video of it. That's too bad. That's what you want to avoid. You want to avoid evidence.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like I was fortunate to, like, make a lot of dubious choices while inebriated in an era before everybody had a video camera in their pocket.
Yes.
So there is not a lot of evidence of these things. Yeah.
Like I said, I was the only one there, so it's all just between me and the tram driver.
Right. And you were probably one of, like, 6 million people that he's had that exact experience. So.
Yeah, he just forgot about it immediately. He's just like, oh, this guy wasn't even as drunk as the last guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never been so drunk that there were Creed songs involved, though.
No, that's when you go start worrying.
I mean, you got to have standards, right? I mean,
you're just like, is anybody else hearing that?
Right, exactly.
All right. Speaking of Deadly Gearhead, here is a call from Deadly Gearhead.
Nice.
Hi, guys. This is Deadly Gearhead. Just want to say thanks for making such a great podcast and for doing the community events during Extra Life. That was really fun. My question for you is, when was the first time you were introduced to video games? Like, what happened? Who got you a game? Who had you play a game? Something like that. For me, my cousin had me play her Super Nintendo, and that was the first video game I played. It was one of the Mario games, and it got me hooked. And ever since then, I've always been a video game nerd. So, yeah, I just want to know where it all started for you guys. And again, thanks for all the content. Bye.
Happily making that content. Churning out that content, DJ. That's good content.
I love it. Content creator.
I am a content creator.
Content creator.
Thank you, Deadly Gearhead. We had a lot of fun playing. What was that golf game with him during Extra Life? That was a good time.
Yeah, what was that golf game?
It was so good we don't remember.
Yeah. I could have told you an hour ago.
Lunatic golf. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a thing. First video game memory. That was the question, right? I pull up the transcript.
That was the question. How did you get started? When did it all start going downhill?
First time I remember being introduced to video games, gotta be elementary school. I lived in an apartment complex, and my neighbor across the street was like a school-aged friend of mine, and I would meet her in the morning, and we would walk to school together. And for Christmas one year, she got a ColecoVision.
Ooh.
So this is very early 80s. I probably was 8, maybe 10. What year's ColecoVision? That's got to be 81, 82, right?
ColecoVision is the one that looks like a computer? Am I remembering that correctly? This is why I lose all my.
It was a video game console, and it had wired controllers that had like spiral cables and the controller had like a keypad on it and a thumbstick.
Okay, no, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. Google
Kick
it.
me off the show.
To those of you who are under the age of 50. So yeah, she had a ColecoVision with Mario Brothers. No, sorry, Donkey Kong. It was Donkey Kong. Obviously before it was Mario. And there you go. That's the thing.
That thing.
The official Coleco. Yeah. And so I got to her house, and she wasn't ready for school. And I remember her mom saying, you could play this cool video game system that we got for Christmas. And I was transfixed. I had never played a video game in a house before, only at arcades. So yeah, I was super into that, and then would want to hang out with her more or get to her house earlier in the morning so I could play Coleco before going to school.
Nice.
And it was just out of reach for my parents at the time. Single mother, could not afford to put one of those in our house. So it was really awesome that I had this kind of across the street friend I could walk to school with and play video games.
Nice.
Just that one specific video. I don't remember playing any other video games on the Coleco except for Donkey Kong.
Just Donkey Kong?
Yep.
Are you like a Donkey Kong master secretly?
Am I the king of Kong? I mean, I probably was in my head at the time. I remember getting the thrill of getting through the first screen and getting to the weird second one with all the broken girders and thinking like, this is a thing no one's ever seen before.
The first person to do this.
Yes. But yeah, that was the very first time I remember having kind of easy-ish access to a video game and really being quite transfixed with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good game to get started with, Donkey Kong. When was I first introduced to video games? I want to say it's I have a very specific memory of going over to a friend's house and playing Super Mario Brothers on the NES. And I guess that was it. I was just oh man, I didn't realize video games existed. but I also feel like my dad would have computer games because he had a computer that seems like it went without saying.
That's how those things go together. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember what I would have played on it. It was we had a bunch of sort of educational games growing up. But I very vividly remember the first time I played Super Mario Brothers, or one of the first times I played Super Mario Brothers, because it was on the TV and there was a little man running around, and I didn't know that sort of thing existed, so it was very exciting.
Nice.
And yeah, I said, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah. 30-something years later, and all the Mario games are still pretty much just that.
Yes. As we have determined, they never really figured out where to go from the first Super Mario Brothers.
Keep running right.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, man. All right, we have a question from FunSize27 on Twitter. It says, I have an end-of-the-year question. Will Snoopy ever catch the Red Baron?
Well, hello to FunSize. It was one of the very first boosters of Video Game Hangover when we hit Twitter many, many years ago. Would retweet nearly everything we ever posted on Twitter at the height of when retweeting was a thing. So it's cool that she's still hanging around and sending us funny comments on Twitter. But,
yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah. Snoopy beat the Red Baron.
Is he still, this reference. Is he still working on that?
Yeah.
How long has Snoopy been around at this point? Oh, quite a while.
It's the 40s or something, wasn't it? It goes. Yeah. It goes back.
Yeah. Did he ever get him? You ever shoot him down?
I don't know.
I don't even remember. I thought there was one of those. It's like one of the cartoons where he either like shot him down or got shot down himself, and he had to escape through the enemy lines or whatever. It's been a while.
You never saw the Red Baron, right? It was always some
no,
imaginary thing.
Because it wasn't real. Because he wasn't actually chasing the Red Baron.
It was Snoopy's imagination, right? It wasn't really like him like dogfighting. It was like him imagining being like a famous war pilot, right? Yeah.
Well, so maybe that's the answer. Well, then no, he will never catch the Red Baron because it's all in his imagination.
Correct. And if you do, then that kind of pursuit is gone, right? You no longer have a thing to dream about.
Yeah, like what would he do after? Then he would just, become a psychopath and just having to start chasing down other fighter pilots.
Right, exactly. And they cut to him in the doghouse and he puts a line through his name on the list and just starts working on number 2.
Like, next one, it's like, the postman or whatever.
Snoopy has a list of people to kill, yeah. Well, it's always like the sort of Wile E. Coyote chasing the Roadrunner. Like, we all understand that if he catches the Roadrunner, he's going to eat him, right? Yeah. Like, that is a thing they don't quite address in the Warner Brothers cartoons.
I mean, they would show, like, don't they show him, like, reading from 101 Roadrunner recipes or whatever? Like, it's pretty clear what was going to happen.
How to cook humans?
Yes. How to
cook for humans?
To serve Roadrunners.
Right.
But no, I don't think you ever caught the Roadrunner either.
There was one I remember where they shrunk the coyote and made the Roadrunner giant.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a good one.
And he catches the Roadrunner, and he's like holding on to his giant Roadrunner leg, and he's tiny. And he holds up a little sign or something that says, "I caught him, now what do you want me to do?" And that's like the end of the cartoon. And I was like, that's all you get. That's the extent of catching the Roadrunner. Yeah.
Use your imagination.
Mm-hmm. But did we do the Snoopy question justice? I think we might have.
I think we just like reasoned all the fun out of it.
Sure, exactly. And then somehow turned Snoopy into a sociopath.
Yeah. Just Snoopy in a white padded cell. Just like, I got him, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Got him, guys.
And Charlie Brown visits him periodically. And
like, used to be such a good dog.
And Woodstock comes too. And yeah.
Oh, what happened to Woodstock? What was Woodstock's deal?
I don't know. Have there been Snoopy video games? There's got to be Snoopy video games, right? Peanuts video
There must
games.
have been, yeah.
Is that a thing?
There's probably like a Snoopy versus the Red Baron video game. That seems like a missed opportunity if there isn't one.
Yes, it's got to be. All right, we're going to do some research on our break.
What happens at the end of that game?
We'll report back.
It was all a dream.
Snoopy wakes up, like with a start in his bed. He's like, oh my God, it was always a dream. And there's some secret thing at the end of the credits to like get you to play the second one.
Yeah. Coming soon, Snoopy versus, I don't know.
Yeah.
Versus the Avengers.
Okay. The Peanuts cinematic universe. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody somewhere is, I'm sure they're trying to work on that. Probably fighting against the estate of Charles Schultz to get it to happen. I think this is where we take a break. We'll be back in a little bit because we still have quite a few more questions to get through. So don't go anywhere. Maybe stand up, walk around, hydrate. But
shake it off.
Yeah, we'll be back in a little bit to get through the second half.
And we are back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's nice to be back.
Thanks.
Just about done with beer number 2.
I've lost track of where I am. It's like one of the problems with having 3 different bottles open is like who knows what's going on. But
you're sort of grazing.
Yes, exactly.
Like a little, yeah.
I'm actually like all 3 of the ones I picked are actually pretty good. Like I would drink all these again, even the one in the weird blue bottle. So that's good. Shout out to Rio Sake, I guess. I don't know what this is.
Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand.
Oh man, I got that reference.
Thank you.
Okay, where were we? while we were gone, we got caught up on the Snoopy games that are out there.
DJ has done the important research.
No, thanks to the Milkman. We now know that there was, in fact, there are many, not just Snoopy games, but many video games based on Peanuts. Several of which are actually Red Baron themed. So there was Snoopy and the Red Baron for the Atari 2600, which I feel like is way ahead of the curve. And then there's a Snoopy versus the Red Baron on PS2, PSP. Oh, man. I should check that one out. Yeah.
On the PSP?
Yeah. I mean, I love those Ace Combat games. Maybe I would love an Ace Combat with Snoopy in it.
Snoopy cross Ace Combat.
Exactly. And then Snoopy Tennis. How could anyone not enjoy a round of Snoopy Tennis? But yeah, a lot of Snoopy games. Who knew?
Yeah, I certainly did not. I think I would have thought, like, what was the Hello Kitty? Hello Kitty has sort of like Animal Crossing style, like they all live in a village and there's farming.
People love that new Hello Kitty game.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah. But I would have thought like a Peanuts game would be a little more low stakes, would be a little more in the cozy game arena.
I don't know. I mean, you would think so, but then he spends all of his free time daydreaming about shooting down a fighter pilot. So, yeah.
That could be like a mini game inside the farming sim.
Yeah. It's like, man, I really like the farming, but then you have to do all these like dogfighting missions. Gotta
shoot down the what to call it, the Red Baron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you thought the Red Baron was just a pizza.
Creed 8 says Ace Combat 8, strange real Snoopy. Man, somebody who knows the name of the Ace Combat planet. Good job.
That's the name of a planet in Ace Combat?
It's like the world in Ace Combat. It's strange real. I feel like they didn't put a lot of thought into it. But
sounds like maybe a poor translation happened at some point and they just stuck with
it. Good name drop, though. Anyway, we have more questions to get through, so let's go back to the phone. What have we got? We got a call from Green Captain.
What's your opinion of peeing while in the shower? Is it abhorrent? Is it perfectly natural? Or is it something just to be reserved for emergencies?
I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it. Go for it.
Knock yourself out. To a good start. Right. I think it's fine.
Quality content again. There we go.
Saves water, right? You're not flushing the toilet. Try not to do it if I'm like staying at somebody else's house. That just seems weird.
It's thoughtful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cool with it. I got no problem with
it. Matt CD, Milkman in the chat says, the water should be running when you do it. That's a good distinction. Yes.
Yes.
So it's while you're taking a shower. It's not just, the shower's right there.
If I have a choice between the toilet or the shower.
I assume when Green Captain asks this question, it's like when you're taking a shower already. Yeah.
Yep. I can back that. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're not taking a shower, don't do it. Don't think about what you're doing.
I have a story.
Do you?
I had a little dog named Blue. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But as he got older, it got tougher for him to hold his peepees in. So we live currently on the third floor of a walk-up, and in the middle of the night, if he had to go, we'd have to take him down 3 floors and turn the alarm off and let him out the back door, and then do the whole thing in reverse. So at some point, we just sort of started putting him in the shower, and he would pee in the shower without the shower running, and we would say good boy and run the water for a second, and he'd go back to bed, and we didn't have to do the trek down to the first floor. So Blue was very much a pro peeing in the shower.
Yeah.
No shower necessary.
Okay, I think, we'll allow it.
Yeah. No learning curve on that either. He just somehow instinctively knew.
Yeah. Couldn't potty train him, but showers was better than having to walk down 3
Seems like the right
stairs.
place. Yeah.
All right. All right. So 3 votes in favor.
Excellent.
Let's see.
We have a quorum.
We have another call.
Next question. Why do birds suddenly appear?
I mean, there's really only one answer. It's just like me, they long to be close to you.
So I feel like this is a reference I'm not understanding.
Oh, you why do we're going to get a copyright ban on this? Why do birds suddenly? It's a song. I don't know who sings the song, but
it's a song.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? And the answer is just like me. They long to be close to you. I think it's the Carpenters. It's a very 70s thing.
Oh, the Carpenters. Oh, I never really listened to the Carpenters. That would explain why I don't get it. Well, okay. Well, so I'm glad you're here. You successfully answered the question.
Down. Sir,
we can proceed to the next stage or whatever.
This requires a man of a certain age.
All right. We have a whole list of questions from Ishin on the Discord.
Oh, nice.
I guess we'll
do the Hoppy Lager next.
Oh, all right. Okay, well, I want to hear how this is.
Dry hopped golden lager.
I feel like I just don't enjoy hops, I guess.
No, there's that smell. Oh, it's not terrible.
Oh.
It definitely has the skunky funky hoppy thing
definitely
going
a little
on.
Skunky.
It's just a little, I don't know what the terpene profile on this lager is, but it definitely has a little funk.
Is it like, how much of it is lager versus hoppy?
I mean, it's probably like a 70-30.
70 lager?
70 lager, 30 hops.
That's not bad. I'd probably drink that.
It's the right ratio.
Okay. Well, we'll put on the list.
Not as kind of like easy drinking as a lager usually is.
Yeah, something when you want to, a little more intensity.
Okay,
but anyway, we have these questions from Eshin, who says, with the announcement of the movie, who would you like to see cast as Link, Zelda, Ganon, etc.? So he's talking about the Legend of Zelda movie that was recently announced. Should we go through the whole list of questions, or do you want to take it? You want to just do question and answer?
Go one by one?
Go one by one. Yeah.
Are we casting the Zelda movie now?
I think so. I think it's Timothée Chalamet, right?
Ugh.
Who else is going to be? That was just like the first name into my head. I don't even think I've seen him in anything. I was just like,
the trailer for that Wonka thing.
Wonka looks terrible.
It hurts.
Oh my god,
it's so painful.
It's a bad movie. But I don't know. I feel like he's a lock.
Have you seen this Timothée Chalamet son of a bitch?
Zelda, Anya Taylor-Joy, just get her.
Yeah.
She should play any princess. Ganon.
I'd back that. I like her. I think she's good. I think she's a quality actor. I think she makes interesting choices. She's going to be Furiosa in the Mad Max prequel. And I think that's exciting. I think she's dead on for that. Yeah.
I haven't really I think the Mario movie is the only thing I've seen her in, and she wasn't really in that. She was just the voice. So, but I still feel like she could be Zelda. It's fine.
She's been in some stuff. She's been
in stuff.
She was in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, the Split, and then the sequel to Unbreakable. She was in that too.
Oh, she was. I didn't see it.
I think so. Yes. And then The Menu, she was in that. That's not a great movie, but she was kind of the interesting part of that. She's good. Yeah.
Okay.
She's fine. So I would support her as Zelda. I think that's a smart way to go.
Okay. Danny DeVito is Ganon for sure.
It's not. I mean, it's not menacing in any way. That would be like a gag casting.
He was the penguin. The penguin was scary, right? Just imagine the
penguin is disgusting,
but kind of green.
Yeah.
He could be like a, kind of a round Ganon.
Are we doing Ganon or Ganondorf?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is this Ganon or Ganondorf? Yeah. I feel like that's maybe more of a Ganon thing. Who would be Ganondorf?
That's as nerdy as Video Game Hangover gets, by the way. For those of us who are joining us late, is it Ganon or is it Ganondorf?
It's pretty up there, yeah.
I have follow-up questions. Who's a good villain? Who's villainous?
What's his name? The No Country for Old Men. Who's that guy? He's terrifying.
Oh,
what's his name?
Javier Bardem.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
he could play that. Cast him as Link, Zelda, and Ganon. He could do all of them. But he'd be terrifying. Ganon.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah,
He can be menacing. He's got like an imposing figure to him, I think.
I feel like he's not really scary. He's just kind of like weird. I think he's definitely in the Zelda movie somewhere, but he's
I want Ganon to be weird.
He's like the creepy mask salesman or something.
He's Beetle. He's Beetle. Oh no!
He can be Beetle. He can be Beetle.
Timothée Chalamet can be Beetle.
Okay, so who are your picks for Link and Zelda? I kind of steamrolled over that.
No, I like the Ganon thing. I think we're doing good on Ganon. I was just watching. I'm watching the new season of Fargo on FX, and John Hamm very cast against type as the villain in that, and he's great in it. And I'm like, I don't think I ever really thought of John Hamm as being like scary in that way, and he's really kind of owning it. So I think it would be interesting. That would be like stunt casting.
John, I have a hard time believing John Hamm as anyone. He just looks like a G.I. Joe.
Yeah. just a sad sack Don Draper.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there's a character like that in Zelda. Zelda's got tons of characters, and I'm sure that he could be somebody. But who would he be? Maybe he's one of those. He's like one of those statues you push around. I don't know.
So I don't know who would be Link. I think Link would be some teen heartthrob, right? I mean, it would be some actor that I don't know.
Yeah, like Orlando Bloom 20 years ago.
Yes, I get that reference. Yeah, who's the guy that's the Uncharted guy?
That's Timothée Chalamet.
No, that's not. Nope. Is that Timothée Chalamet?
No, that's it's Tom. What's his name?
Tom Nook.
It's Tom Nook. Tom Nook as Zelda. No, as Link.
But I think it would be somebody like that. It would be some young actor that.
Yeah, no, I think that's
or say anything to me.
That's more likely. What is that guy's name? I keep wanting to say Tom Hardy, but that's not him.
Tom Sizemore.
Tom Sizemore is Link.
Tom Cruise.
The little guy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know. I kind of want. I think we have a follow-up question about should Link talk in it. I would like Link to just be some like blank foil, like some like fairly uninteresting centerpiece around which all of this other kind of greater mystery and these interesting characters kind of orbit. Because I mean that's kind of that's how the games more or less play out anyway. So,
but how do you turn that into a movie?
I would like.
I mean, it's like, kind of like Mad Max, right? Mad Max wasn't even really a thing in the latest
Tom
one.
Hardy is Ganon.
Yeah, no, I think Tom Hardy could play everybody. He's another one of those
I could back that. Yeah.
Do you think Link will speak in the movie? I think he has to, but it's going to be bad.
Yeah. I mean, with the Mario, you don't know. I believe with the Mario movie, they must have there must be a draft of that script somewhere out there where they tried to build like a movie around a Mario who doesn't talk. Is it a movie? It probably couldn't be done.
I don't know. I feel like Mario's always talked like in all the cartoons and everything. Have you seen the 80s Zelda cartoon? Or like 90s Zelda cartoon? Where it's just like a total like campy take on The Legend of Zelda. Link is like this total doofus. He's always trying to get a kiss from the princess. He's just like an idiot, basically. You should check it out. I'll send you a link. But there's no way that the movie is going to be anything like that. But it would be amazing if that was sort of like the take on Link, where he's just like some idiot.
This is like what version of Zelda is the movie going to be? Is it kind of the modern open world Tears of the Kingdom?
I feel like it's just going to be the most like by the book sort of like Ocarina of Time, like find the pieces of the Triforce or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not hugely optimistic about the movie. In case you can.
No, it doesn't sound like it would. I don't know. It doesn't sound necessary. Like Toon Link is a thing that exists. There's an aesthetic for that. There's some really interesting characters. If you think about not Phantom Hourglass. Wow. What is the Toon Link?
Wind Waker?
Wind Waker. If you think about Wind Waker, like that's kind of a goofy Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
It's a very goofy Link. Yeah, I think that is a way you could like build something around like an animated feature. And then you just have to cast voices, right?
That would be great. Yeah, if they just made it like a Toon Link thing. Didn't they announce it's going to be live action though?
Yeah, it is live action.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I'm not excited. So I don't know.
I
do feel like Link and Zelda will be some. I sound like an old man, like some young actor I don't know, some young actress I don't know anything about.
Oh.
And they'll be like, "Oh, she was in that thing with Taylor Swift." And
It'll just be Taylor Swift.
Like when I was your age.
Oh man.
Oh, but I think Ganon is probably the one that could be interesting. I think if you do some really kind of cool stunt casting there, I think that could be fun.
Javier Bardem, Tom Hardy, they can both be Ganon.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving past
Next
the movie,
question.
rank your top 5 Zelda games.
Ooh.
I have a list somewhere. Here it is.
Do you?
Let's just speed run it. Zelda 3, Link to the Past.
Are you doing number one?
Number
first?
one. Yeah.
Number
Should
one?
I go the
Okay.
other direction? Sorry, it's too late. Zelda 3, number 1. Number 2. I didn't think about this. Is this right? No, I'm not sure if I agree with this. Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom. Same game, essentially.
Breath of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Number 3, The Wind Waker. Number 4, Zelda 1. The first Zelda. Yeah, that's still pretty good. Number 5, Ocarina of Time. I like Ocarina of Time a lot, and for some reason, I have a lot of friends who just can't stand this game. I don't understand it. It wasn't terrible. I don't like it as much as the 2D ones, which I think is sort of like part of their dislike of it. It's like not the 2D Zeldas, but I had a great time with that game. I don't understand why you could hate that game so much.
With Ocarina?
Ocarina of Time, yeah. It's a good game,
People hate
right?
that game? Yeah. That would be in my top 5. I'm looking at my shelves trying to like, what are Zelda games? Number 1 is Wind Waker. That's easy for me. I love the Wind Waker game. It's one of the few Zelda games I've played multiple times.
Yep.
2 would be Breath of the Wild, parentheses, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
3, I like the oddball ones. I like
Ooh, what's this going to be?
the Phantom Hourglass. I like, what's the one on the train? I like the train one. The DS ones are great.
Yeah. Those are like kind of in the
two in a
Toon
bucket
Link
together.
style, right?
Yeah, it's very Toon Link, yeah. I like Minish Cap. Minish Cap is Toon
Minish
Link
Cap
too.
is good.
Yeah, Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds. I think the 2 of those would probably live on like a 3rd place or a 4th place spot for me. And then you get back to kind of the mainline ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ocarina. The Ocarina on the 3DS. Like, I feel like I've tried to play that game on the like Nintendo 64 version. Is it Nintendo 64?
Yep.
Yes.
So
And it's real hard.
It's real hard.
It is tough to do without that second screen. And I think kind of the optimization of that game is the version that exists on a dual screen. Yeah.
I can see that, yeah. I've been thinking about replaying that actually because, man, it's just, it was in that, right in that 97, 98 window where just all the good games are coming out. And I don't think I've replayed it since then.
Oh, interesting.
But just thinking of having to switch the boots on and off during the water temple, I'm like, oh man, that was
and having to sort of navigate to 3 menus deep to figure out how to do it. Yeah. Yeah, and you can just use it do it on the touchscreen and the DS, which is great.
Yeah, that sounds like a sole reason to play the 3DS version over the original.
Yeah. Controversy. What is your least favorite Zelda game that you've played?
Least favorite. It's funny because as much as I love Link to the Past, I felt like Link Between Worlds was just completely forgettable. Like, it wasn't bad, but I couldn't tell you anything about it other than, he like turns into a little painting at different points. It was just very unremarkable.
Interesting. And we may have talked about this before because this sounds very familiar to me now, is I like Link Between Worlds more than Link to the Past. But I've played them in that order. I played them out of order. I played the new one before the old one.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't really like the equipment rental thing. I felt like it just took a lot of... I don't know. It just made it so simple. It was like, oh, you need this thing, then just go rent it. Then problem solved. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was a bad game. Are there bad Zelda games? What's the worst Zelda game that I played?
you get like the CDI games and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, well, those are like legitimately like nobody should play those. I actually haven't played those, but I've seen like I watched streams of them, and I was like, ooh, yeah, doesn't look fun.
What's the time loop one that I've tried repeatedly to play and cannot get through?
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask, yeah. I don't know if that means it's my least favorite. It's just it defies me. Like I've made multiple attempts to play that game and just cannot seem to make progress in it. Yeah.
A lot of people hate on Twilight Princess, but I remember having like a lot of fun with that game. Like a lot of really interesting sort of like dungeons and like puzzles in that game, I think.
I think I remember thinking it was kind of ho-hum. It felt very kind of lifeless. It really was not.
Yeah, it was very like
sort of coming out of Wind Waker.
And ugly.
Like, yeah.
That's sort of my biggest issue with that game. But like from a gameplay standpoint, that was pretty good.
The Wii U version of that they did, the cleaned up HD Twilight Princess is beautiful. And like in every way that the Wii struggled to make that game pretty, I think the Wii U kind of fixed it by making it HD, and they clearly sort of did a little work to polish it up and make it widescreen and stuff. And so yeah, I think that was a nice save. Hopefully that sort of preserves the legacy of that game, and they get that version out somewhere on the Switch or the Switch too.
One of the few sort of games still stuck on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I still have to play what's the other Wii one? Skyward Sword. Which sounds like, I mean, like I played enough of it to know that it has a bunch of problems, but I never got to the end of that game. I'd like to give it sort of a fair shake at some point.
Yeah, I've never gotten past like the prologue of that game. That's one of those ones too where I was sort of like, oh god, I feel like I know exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, it's definitely like the most sort of like bogged down or like the epitome of just the over-explainy Nintendo game. And I think they really corrected for that in Tears of the Kingdom. Or not that one. In Breath of the Wild, which is
Breath
smart.
of the Wild. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Deadly Gearhead says Oracle of Seasons and Ages were cool. You know, I never played either of those. Well, then more importantly, Gary Busey as Tingle in the Zelda movie.
No.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Is Gary Busey still doing movies? Is he still acting?
Gary Busey's still alive.
He's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah, I hope so. Just Gary Busey is Tingle. I support it.
Nicolas Cage is Ganon.
Oh, I was going to say as Tingle. But yeah, I support him as Ganon as well.
Yeah, he can be menacing.
Do you think he would do like a scary Ganon or just be a silly Ganon?
I think he excels at sort of like unpredictable, right? I think he would just be sort of like menacing and scary because he would be like unhinged.
Yeah, I feel like we're casting in the wrong direction. It's not like who should play Ganon, but it's like who would Nicolas Cage be in a Zelda movie? He could definitely be the mask salesman. Who else would he be? I don't know. Well, send in your top choices for Nicolas Cage in a Zelda movie. We want to get him in there somewhere. Okay, next part to this question. Why has Randy not put 900 hours into Tears of the Kingdom compared to Breath of the Wild? I feel like it wasn't the hit everybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. It is my most played, from an hours perspective, video game of 2024. I didn't finish it. I really liked it a lot, but other than the construction stuff, it felt like, I think ultimately I sort of felt like I get it. You know, I understand what's happening here. I did this for
That's
200
enough.
hours in the other game. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I even like feel like a lot of like, oh man, I really need to get back to Tears of the Kingdom to see how that ends. Like, I get it. I'm fine. Yeah, it's a good game. It's just like the construction stuff ultimately felt very cumbersome. The dark world underneath stuff felt very cumbersome. I just kept sort of finding myself kind of distracted and going down these side roads and playing with the tools and stuff in the game and not really just doing the Zelda stuff. And it's I think it's too effective a sandbox almost, which is I guess a compliment. But it really kind of made it hard to feel like I was making progress in any significant way.
That is my, that's how I would sum up the game, is that I have, I spent 40 hours playing this, apparently, if that's what Nintendo told me this week. And I feel like I accomplished almost nothing in any direction. And I had a great time the whole time I was playing this because, I love just exploring wherever and finding weird, surprising stuff. But it's so hard to make actual sort of progress towards anything unless you're able to just like stay focused the entire time. And I feel like it's a bit at odds with itself because it's like there's all this stuff for you to do in terms of like, if you want to complete the main story, you have to do these specific things. But then it puts all of this other stuff in your path. Like you're supposed to go off in this direction and investigate this weird thing that you saw. And you can't do both of those things at the same time. So it's tough. It's like, what am I supposed to be doing in this game? I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like that's my argument for like the hopeful continued existence of a traditional, more focused Zelda experience. Is that like I like the sandbox, that's fun, and I'm happy to play in it again, and I would get excited about another game if they. And it feels like it's going to be a trilogy at some point, right? I would be excited about that, but like I would also like another Wind Waker or another Link to the Past, or something that feels like it's got a little bit more kind of drive and fewer distractions.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the end credits of a Zelda game at some point again, please. So hopefully there is a desire at Nintendo to continue kind of feeding both of those customers.
I hope so. Yeah, I feel like did they say the next one is going to be more in the Breath of the Wild mold?
This director, I forget his name, is Anuma.
Yeah.
Feels like this is the future of Zelda. Like this is.
That's what he said. Yeah, this is like
they would all be like this. Yeah.
I feel like they've got one more of these in them tops before people get sick of it, though.
Give me that other thing.
Yeah, I would love to. Or like, maybe what comes after this is not a return to sort of the Ocarina of Time mold. Maybe it's a completely different thing. That would be exciting.
Yeah.
But at this point, I would love another Ocarina of Time style thing where you just do the 8 dungeons. Maybe I should play Skyward Sword. Maybe now's the time.
Did you play the remake of Link's Adventure?
Link's Adventure?
The one that...
the Game Boy?
Looks like the little plastic toys.
Yeah, no, I didn't play that one. Although that's been like on my short list of stuff to check out.
No, that's really good. That's... Again, I'm much more focused, and it still has like a lot of mysteries to solve and a lot of like little clues you have to kind of piece together in the big world and stuff like that. But it's good, and it's still difficult in a way that I think I kind of want like a Zelda game to fight back a little bit and not be so kind of obvious.
Yeah.
So it was it's cool. Yeah, that was good. I'm grateful I played that and finished that. That was one of my backlog games, I think, last year.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I should check that out. I don't know why it's taking me so long to get around to it. Okay, next set of questions. We're still on Ishian's list. Now that we know the 5 gaming food groups, what was the best farming game of 2023? How many farming games did you play this year?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. I'm trying to
think of a game I played that had a lot of farming in it.
I was like, I don't remember if it was this year or last year when I played that witch game, but I don't even think they had farming in it, so maybe that's the wrong road to go down.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was no, there was definitely a farm in the like 19th century Yakuza game. I had just gotten into that, so I didn't do much farming in that game. So maybe that's it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything I played this year that had farming in it.
Nothing.
Potion Permit. Did Potion Permit have farming?
No, that was one of the witch games. I didn't know you played that. I don't think there was farming in that. No, wait.
It had like foraging, right? I think you had to.
You did a lot of foraging. Yeah. If there was a farm, it would be too easy.
You had to find stuff growing in the wild, to make potions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've played, kind of deliberately avoided, perhaps. Like, there's
no more farming.
There's the Dreamlight Valley, like, what are the big cozy games, right? Dreamlight Valley, the Fae Farm, Feria is the new one that just sort of came out recently. Like a lot of people are talking about kind of in r/cozy games. And they're all, to some degree or another, have like a farming component to it. And like, I don't find that necessarily super compelling. playing. I think I talked about in the show. One of my favorite YouTubers did a list of like her 10 favorite non-farming cozy games you should play right now, and I'm like writing down because I don't necessarily find
where are they
that super fun. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think anybody's done a thing with farming that makes it feel like new or exciting in any way. Even Animal Crossing, like it just was the least interesting kind of add-on to that game.
Yeah, I barely touched any of that at all. Similarly, I'm so tired of the island in Final Fantasy XIV. I hate it. It's just like everybody was looking forward to it so much, and it was the worst thing of this expansion.
What is the island? Could you describe it in 30 seconds or less?
It was just supposed to be like casual content for people to, it's like not like hardcore battle stuff at all. But it turned out it was just like an incredibly long-term grind. And of course there's a farm on it, and I don't like having to check in on it every once in a while. There's like very little point to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like one of the few rare sort of missteps that team has come up with.
So, no answer for Eshin on this one. I'm sorry. I don't think we landed on an answer to your question.
And if you just want to say the best in terms of the least bad, I would probably say Yakuza Ishin. But I haven't. Yeah, no, I think we're on the same page. I don't know if there's been a farming experience that I really feel compelled to just revisit all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that game going to be? Maybe I should play Farming Simulator.
Yeah, those simulator games don't necessarily appeal to me. The Power Wash one is one of the PlayStation Plus games this month, and I'm like,
yeah, no, Power Wash is so good. You should play that. You should play at least play a couple levels of it. It's pretty good.
They have the Croft Manor, the Laura Croft DLC for that, where you can power wash Croft Manor, and I'm like, well, maybe that's the way.
I can't keep up with all of the like cross game promotions anymore. Like, I think there's a Final Fantasy VII thing in Power Wash Simulator. Like, I don't even know what that is. Today I saw one that was like Dredge cross Dave the Diver. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, which game is this for? Which of those two games is getting the edition? Is it both of them? I don't know.
I think it's Dave the Diver.
Sorry, I thought it was Dredge.
Oh.
So, yeah, no one knows.
TBD. I like both of those games. I presumably I would get to that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you'll play it, but who knows which game it's going to be in.
Yep. I did like, and I don't think it was this year, but the Strange Horticulture. It's not necessarily a farming game, but it is like a plant knowledge. You run a creepy flower shop in like Eldritch, England. And it was fun. It had a really cool mystery to it and some really dark characters. And it was like a puzzle game, essentially, of you like making potions and hopefully trying not to kill people. Mm-hmm. Unless that was the desired outcome.
Did some people ask you to kill them?
Yeah, you would get customers that would come in sometimes that were like, I want to poison my husband and stuff like that.
Oh, but I mean, that's like killing somebody else. They're just like,
yeah.
I can't take it anymore. I need to, just
for them
wrap all this up.
Not that I remember. That's a fun game, and that does something kind of unique and interesting with the concept of growing stuff in a video game.
All right. Well,
anyway,
Strange Horticulture, best pseudo farming game of
the last 10 years,
2022, 2023. Okay, last question from Eshin. If games are food groups, what Pokemon would you eat? How would you cook it? So I don't know. Like, do they eat Pokemon in the Pokemon games?
Yes,
they do. Can you know that for sure?
I have very limited Pokemon experience, and then the few Pokemon games that I've played, there is definitely Pokemon being eaten.
Okay, but it's not like, Pokemon eating other Pokemon. It's like the humans preparing them.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're eating each other, but it's definitely like in restaurants, like there's like, fillet of Pokemon on the on the menu.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah. I don't think I.
Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I distinctly recall that, and I remember being quite grossed out and surprised by it when it showed up in. What's the one I played the most? Arceus?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was definitely people eating Pokemon in that.
That's surprising. I always just assumed that they were kind of off limits because they're sort of like your pets, right?
Yeah. Some of them are.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, some of them.
Well, it's the same way that people sort of like draw a line between dogs and cows.
Like these Pokemon, but not these Pokemon. I don't know.
This one's cute and it lives in my house. This one's a hamburger.
Okay, but back to the question though. Which one are you going to eat?
Yeah, none. A grass type. I mean, that's the easy cop out answer because it's a vegetable, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Are the grass types plants and vegetables? But no, I don't eat sentient things.
What's the little chikorita? The little green guy. I'm gonna eat that guy.
What? Gross.
I don't know. I mean, if you're just saying like, yeah, give me the vegan Pokemon option. I guess they are alive though. That's weird. My original answer was like Jigglypuff, right? Because he's probably just a big marshmallow. So just put him on a stick and roast him.
Yeah. Well, he screams in pain.
No, he'd probably just be like, yeah, or whatever. Sound Jigglypuff
Thank you. Thank you for helping me realize my full potential.
It's like, this is why I was put here on the Pokemon Earth. I don't know. What's the other, the little...
Too dark, Eshin.
Too dark.
This is darker than the dead body question.
It's like, people ask if you see a dead body, but this is crossing the line. What's the one, Ditto? I would eat that thing.
What is that?
It's like a little purple guy, purple blob thing. You know, look it up. I don't know. Probably just eat that guy straight. It's probably like a gummy.
Where's the?
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah. You just like slimes.
Just a slime thing. He looks like a gummy, right? You probably just buy a bag full of those guys.
Sure, he's like 5% THC.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got 5 milligrams of CBD, little CBN.
Yeah,
help you sleep at night.
No idea. Yeah, just think of the high you got off of a bag of Dittos. Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat here. Team Rocket. This is all from Deadly Gearhead. Team Rocket took over a cave and started cutting off slowpoke tails. Oh no, and selling them as food. Oh, that was in one of the games. Okay, wow. A tail?
Dark.
I don't know. I feel like, a roasted Jigglypuff marshmallow. Plus, I just have a grudge against him from all those rounds I lost in Super Smash Brothers. Okay, so I think that's all of Eshin's questions. Thank you so much, Eshin. Good list.
We've satisfied the need for Pokemon content in this episode.
Okay, back to the phone. We've got a call from, wouldn't you know, it's Green Captain.
Hey.
Other than my questions, have you had anything so extraordinary or unexplained happen to you or that you've observed that it made you actually question your belief in a supernatural?
No,
never.
I like categorically, like I don't believe in ghosts. I don't think that's a thing. So no, I don't think I've ever had an encounter like that. How do we even approach this? Some of my the stores I've worked in or malls I've worked in have been like old and creepy, the store definitely has a ghost. Like our building definitely has a ghost, or there's a ghost that lives in the building, and I for the life of me cannot like begin to comprehend that. I feel like there's probably a logical explanation for everything, I don't. Those ghost hunter shows, I think, are like the height of like gullible comedy. I don't get it. The search for Bigfoot, and I'm like, okay, like there's 96 episodes of this show, and we've still not found Bigfoot. No, it just seems like bullshit to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had any like close encounters or anything. Although I do feel like I have to be much more careful answering this question than I would have thought, because I remember having there was like a lunchtime discussion at work when I realized that like a lot of my coworkers just believe in ghosts, and I just always assumed that society had just agreed that ghosts are not real. Like, ghosts and like vampires and the werewolf.
Goblins.
They're just, I don't know what a goblin is. No, probably not real. But they're just like Halloween monsters, right? They're not actual things that pop up. And then there are a bunch of people that they were just like, oh yeah, I think I've seen a ghost. It was just like, what? And I couldn't believe it. So I don't know. I still continue to believe that I've never seen evidence that would lead me to think that ghosts exist.
No, I've never had an experience or an encounter that has left me thinking, oh, that might have been a ghost. Yeah, it's never. Nope.
No.
I don't want to sort of, dissuade anyone from their delusions, but no, that just doesn't work for me. I've not found a way to bridge that gap.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like a big believer in science, and I feel like ghosts are a huge logical leap. So, no, I've never had an experience that was like, oh, maybe there are ghosts. I think that would be interesting if there was something, because what would that even be? What would it take? But so far, it has not happened to me.
Yeah.
I did get lost in in a forest in Japan at night one time. And it was very spooky. I feel like if there was going to be a time where I was going to have a epiphany about ghosts, that would have been it. But
it's like the sequel to The Ring, right there. It's like the opening scene where the first person gets killed. Yeah.
But I think I was more concerned about wolves or whatever would have realistically been living on the mountain. But no. I'm pretty sure ghosts are not real.
Yeah. Where do you stand on aliens?
They're probably aliens, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
They're probably. They're probably not the little
I could really make that leap. I just can't make the ghost leap. Yeah.
I think there's that quote. I forget who it is. If it's Carl Sagan or I don't know who it is. It's there are two possibilities. There's either other life in the universe or there's no other life in the universe, and each possibility is terrifying. But I feel like there's got to be something else out there. It would be so weird if Earth was it.
Yeah.
Although I do acknowledge that the things that have to take place for life to exist are it's not happening everywhere.
Right.
But I like to there's got to be something out there.
Ghost aliens.
Yeah, maybe there's a ghost planet.
Maybe there's a portal to hell on Mars.
Maybe, yeah. That sounds like maybe somebody should make a video game about that.
That should be, yeah. Somebody should make the first video game out of that. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was the right answer or the answer that it was that Eshin wanted, but I can't go along with you on that one. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Well, that was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another question.
Which dumb saying or pop culture phenomena will the year 2023 be known for?
What's the worst slang you've heard this year?
Slang?
Or just anything.
Yeah. The hack thing still bothers me. That's not new. That's not exclusive to 2023, but
the hack?
Everything on social media being a hack, a life hack, a cooking hack.
Oh.
It's not a hack. You're just following the recipe. It's not a hack. You're just using a spoon differently.
Okay. Well, that's been around for a while, though.
Yeah, that's not new.
That's not a spoon differently.
That's not a hack. You just don't know how to cook eggs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that annoys me, and I think that's an affectation of social media and TikTok and yada yada. Yeah, I'm not on TikTok, so I think I miss some of that stuff. It doesn't get into my head. I'm also not the target audience for it. So, the one that I've noticed a lot this year is eras. You're in your whatever era. You're in your acting out era. And I'm like, is this Taylor Swift's contribution to 2023?
For that, right?
Is that what all this comes back to? There's a band called Guster. They're touring, and their next tour is called "We Also Have Eras." So it's them doing old albums and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is a thing now, isn't it?
Everybody's doing that.
I don't know. It's just I don't know, just yeah, I don't know. It's just these concepts that sort of have existed before, and somehow sort of get co-opted and branded in some way that I find uncomfortable.
Hmm.
How about you? Do you get a lot of like generational slang or like youth language in your brain? This is just like cranky old man.
Yeah, no, this is definitely the cranky old man section of the show. I don't know. I was like, the one that really threw me this year was like Riz. But then I looked it up and it was like, it's not even this year. It's been around for a while and I'm just late to it. I don't even think this is this year either, but I really am bothered when people say like, we're eating good. Right? Have you heard that?
I have, yeah.
Or like, what's the other one? There's like another food related one. Oh no, it's like let them cook. I hate it. And I don't know
really?
why. I don't know why. It's like because I like both of those things. I like both eating well and cooking stuff. But I just as slang, it's like I can't deal with it. I don't know why
I get the let them cook one, and there is some sort of like delighting in other people digging their own grave, because that's what that comes from, is it's the hole up, let them cook.
Yeah.
Don't like interrupt. Don't get in the way of people like, burying themselves essentially.
Yeah.
So I enjoy, what do they call that? This is schadenfreude, where you take pleasure at somebody else's misery. I mean, that's essentially that, right? Yeah. I like that one. I've never used it. I've never said that phrase out loud before in my life, but I appreciate the I appreciate that that has made its way into pop culture in some way.
I mean, I understand the sort of sentiment and the meaning behind it, but it feels to me like
you like eating and cooking.
It's like a meme. I really can't stand when people will just like reply to stuff with just a meme answer. It feels like so like thoughtless to me.
Yeah. Oh, I do like a good like GIF response.
Oh, I love it. Like I love a GIF response, but when somebody is like all they can manage to reply to, like, I mean, like, don't read the comments on the internet. That's probably my problem.
Sure,
it's like all they can do is like drop in a reference or something that has been said a million times before. It's like, why do you even exist? Like, you're not contributing anything to this. So,
do you get bet? I've heard bet.
That is something I struggled with for a while. I still like whatever. Just that's fine. I don't have a huge issue with it.
You bet? You betcha. Is that what I don't understand where that's
No, it's like,
what are you saying to me?
It's like, yeah. Isn't it? Isn't that what it means?
I think so. Yep.
One of the youths, please tell me what this means.
We have a word for this already. Could someone in the chat please ask their child?
No, like that's fine. That doesn't bother me as much. I don't see that one as much anymore.
Oh,
maybe that's why.
I think that's a Baltimore thing. I get like Central PA being sort of like Maryland adjacent. I get that comes into my orbit more often than I think.
So now that we're going down the rabbit hole, what really bothers me is when people will say stuff like, it needs fixed. Have you heard this?
Yeah, that's a Pennsylvania thing.
It is. Yes. Done. I was like, like, why does this happen? And it's like Pennsylvania or like, I think Philadelphia. For some reason,
Pennsylvania is more or less Philadelphia. So,
Okay, yeah, you're probably a better judge of that than I am. But I was just like, I don't understand. I feel like it's becoming more widespread, and it just feels like illiterate to me. But that's, maybe that's just my West Coast elitism kicking in. It makes me insane.
You're coastal elite.
I still can't stand when people use literally incorrectly, and that is just a lost cause at this point. Guys, it's literally Tuesday.
Correct.
Like, all right.
You're not wrong. There's a bunch of and I won't get into it because I don't want to get angry emails and text messages, but there's a lot of Pennsylvania talk that I'm like, oh, nope, I'm not going to say that. No matter how long I live here, those words will never come out of my mouth.
All right. Yeah. This is going to be a 5-hour episode of just complaining about how other people talk.
And I'm not going to be welcome anywhere in downtown Harrisburg ever again.
Oh, man. Okay. Did we answer that question? Which dumb saying or pop culture phenomenon?
Yeah, I think so.
Just all of it. All of it's the worst.
well, we couldn't necessarily pinpoint.
We couldn't
a
narrow it
2023
down, but
one,
just
I think.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids who say wicked.
Wicked. Wicked's fine. You can say that.
It's a wicked pissa.
Russ Greeno on the blog says, who is your current celebrity crush and how similar are they to your first teenage celebrity infatuation? Oh.
Celebrity crush.
Part question.
I don't know. I feel like the concept of a crush is hard. Like, I don't like... I've reached an age where it feels very inappropriate to like lust over somebody who's clearly much younger than I am.
Right.
So yeah, crush is tough.
The purposes of this question, it's fine. You just go for it.
Yeah. I like Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza is great.
Okay.
She makes really cool choices. She ends up in really good movies and TV shows. I think she's a very brave actor. And I enjoy her in nearly everything she's in. She's almost always the best thing in stuff she's in. So I would think Aubrey Plaza, that would be the same, like, who's your favorite actor right now? She's definitely kind of one of the more like compelling people I think makes really interesting choices with the stuff she ends up being in. So yeah, I like her. And I think if you think about sort of like that kind of like cool, kind of disillusioned, disaffected, like dark-haired beauty, if I rewind to like teens and 20s Randy, like it's Winona Ryder and Christina Ricci. Nice. Yeah, we're sort of all very sort of conceptually consistent there.
All right.
I've stumbled my way through that answer, but hopefully made sense.
Oh, man. I don't know. My current celebrity crush, I don't really, like... I don't know if I have a celebrity crush. I was really... Maybe the closest anybody comes to this is... God, what was her name in the latest James Bond movie? The Cuban actress.
Anna de Armas?
Yeah.
She was in Knives Out.
She was in Knives Out. She was amazing. Yeah. She's great. In the Bond movie. She was in it for like 30 seconds. It was very, very disappointing. I thought she was just, she was so cool. And there was a great, she like kills 3 guys in 3 seconds, which is super badass. And there's this great shot of her where she's like wearing this very like scandalous dress, but it's like this total classic sort of like, I don't know even how you describe it, like sort of this silhouette of like a woman in a like evening gown kind of thing, but she's also just like firing a machine gun at people, which is just like, oh man, that is cool. I don't know what like yeah, like I didn't realize I was into it, but like that is amazing.
My GIF response is the guy from Wanted just sitting at his desk and sweating. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was great. Definitely the high point of the movie, even though it's like 3 or 4 minutes long.
Yeah. Badass ladies in action movies, like that's still a thing. Absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
Ripley in the Aliens movies.
Yeah, sure. Ripley.
Rebecca Ferguson in the Mission Impossible movies as the badass sniper assassin is just freaking awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. Charlize Theron in Mad Max or in what's the other one? Suicide Blonde.
She was so good, and
Atomic Blonde.
That was great.
Yeah. Just awesome.
I like a woman who can kill me. is what we're getting at.
We go back to thing.
Going back to the Lady Dimitrescu, just like
So we're doing some big work here on the episode tonight.
How do they compare to my first teenage celebrity infatuation? Who was that?
Ellen Ripley. I think it goes back, right?
I didn't watch Aliens until college. No, Sigourney Weaver is terrific. I unfortunately always think of like my first exposure to Sigourney Weaver was from Ghostbusters, which she's just kind of a little annoying.
She's the killjoy. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I saw Aliens. I was like, oh, okay, this is much better. But in high school,
she's in the mech suit, and she's all, get away from her, you bitch.
That is like the one scene. This is like a meme that pops up every once in a while on Twitter, where they're like, "What is the scene? What is the movie moment where you wish you could have been like in the theater to experience. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the power loader reveal for sure. Like, don't even think about it. But in high school, I was really into like Jennifer Connelly, I think.
Oh.
Which I don't know how that connects back to Anna de Armas, but she could have been a Bond girl, probably.
Yeah. And Jennifer Connelly never really did the action movie thing.
No, not really. She was always like, I don't know. She was like too good for the action movies, probably.
Yeah. She was a real actor.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had that with like Labyrinth and Career Opportunities when she was like a cool teen actor. And then you fast forward to like Requiem for a Dream. And what was the one she did where she was like the housewife who had a miserable life? Oh, A Beautiful Mind. She was Kurt
Beautiful
Russell's
Mind, yeah.
kind of long-suffering wife in that too. So yeah, also makes really good choices and does like character stuff. I think she's really...
Yeah, I'm just like, when is she going to get a lead role? I don't know if that's happened. She's always kind of like second string.
Yeah.
But she does such a great job. It's too bad.
I can't think of anything Jennifer Connelly's been in the last year. So I'm not sure.
She was in the new Top Gun a couple years ago.
Oh.
But even that felt like why, like it feels like she's just like overcast or whatever. She's like, why is she in Top Gun? Well, Top Gun was very good.
This guy. Yeah, I didn't see the new one.
Anyway, did we answer
but
that
it's
question?
weird that she's not had her like Ellen Ripley Atomic Blonde thing. I feel like, yeah. Sooner or later, every female actor of a certain age ends up in something like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I would go full action movie with her in it, but like there's gotta be something at some point. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm just not aware of it.
Who's the actress that does she's Tom Cruise's partner in Day After Tomorrow?
Day After Tomorrow? No.
Like
I know what you're talking about. Emily Blunt.
Live, Die, Repeat. What is that called?
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about.
Emily Blunt
Edge of
is
Tomorrow.
her name. Edge of Tomorrow. Day After Tomorrow is another thing.
Yeah.
She's great. She makes really cool choices. She's a good like character actor. She's an Oppenheimer and she's awesome. But she does like killer action movies and does like really good sci-fi choices. She was in the what's the sci-fi movie I like that she was in? The Edge of Tomorrow. Looper. She was in Looper and was awesome in that.
Looper
so
may be the most disappointing movie I've ever seen.
Really? I love Looper.
It was like, this is not paying off the premise that they promised me.
I really like that movie. I feel like that's like Bruce Willis's last great movie.
It was a movie that he was in. That's for sure.
All right, we'll agree to disagree.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like we've detoured. Sorry, have we answered the question?
I think we answered that question. You can, it's up to you to find the answer somewhere in there. We have another call from the goddamn milkman.
Beer number 4.
Hello, this is the goddamn milkman from the Discord, and I'm calling in with a few questions. First, off of your video game food pyramid thing, how would a car gun work? Next, what's not in your Taco Bell order? Then, what's your most anticipated game at this point, presumably in 2024? And then, what was your food of 2023? And lastly, what are the video game genres, and why aren't they like food genres? Thank you, and good night, and happy drinking.
Excellent.
Man,
the goddamn milkman.
I feel like we're just like, just a little bit more to go in this episode, and then somebody asks like 5 questions at once.
All right. We want to do it justice. Obviously, goddamn milkman put some work and thought into
this is a good
but
list. This is a good list.
We can lightning round this a little bit, I think. First off, food pyramid thing. How would a car gun work?
People like the food pyramid. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting that to stick so much. But
somehow really caught on. What the proposition here was that there were like the basic food groups of video gaming, right? Were like gun and car and
2 separate food groups for the record.
Yes,
and also separate from that is sword. gun and sword are not the same food group.
I forgot about sword. Yeah. So what would a gun car?
No. Okay, so I want to be clear about this. He asked about how would a car gun work, which I feel is different from a gun car. We can get into both of them, but he's specifically asking about a car gun.
Is this a car with a gun mounted on it?
I think a car gun is just,
Are we doing like a Twisted Metal thing?
I think it's just a gun that is mounted in a car.
So just like to sort of like suppose the question here, is Twisted Metal a car game or a gun game?
Oh, it's definitely a car game, right?
I think it's a car game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A car gun. So yeah, a car gun is just a weapon mounted on a car. I think that's easy.
Or it's some weird like other food group, like squeezable yogurt in a tube. Like it's not like real food. It's not like a real car game.
It's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So maybe the more interesting question is, what is a gun car?
It's a gun with a car mounted on it.
A gun car. Well, so the last time this came up, I was saying like I love the gun blade from Final Fantasy VIII, and the way this works is it is basically a sword with a revolver grip. And I think the way they explain it in the game is that you swing it like a sword, but as you're swinging it, you pull the trigger, which does the gun does the gun thing.
Does the gun?
It ignites the cartridge, and for some reason that causes the sword swing to do extra damage because there's like it like vibrates the blade or something. That's how they explain it in the game.
Oh, it's not actually shooting a bullet.
It doesn't shoot a bullet.
It's like forcing the blade.
Yeah, it's enhancing the sword swing somehow. And then since Final Fantasy VIII, there's been a whole slew of like gun plus other things in the Final Fantasy series. There's been like a gun lance, there's been a gun halberd, there's been a gun shield. So it turns out you can just put a gun into anything. So in this case, what is a gun car? It's like, so you're driving a car, and then you pull the you pull the trigger, which is probably on the shifter. That seems like a good place for it. Or maybe on the steering wheel. Yeah, that would work too. But then what happens then? Is it just like you get a boost?
Is it like a boost?
Is it a
that's
weapon?
Your nitro button?
Gun car.
A gun is a weapon.
Okay.
A car could be a weapon.
Yeah. Is it like I'm on board with it being just a nitro boost. I feel like that already exists though. That's just, the nitro.
Yeah. Punch it.
How does a car gun, no, excuse me. How does a gun car take it to the next level?
I don't. It's a gun that shoots cars.
Gun that shoots cars.
You like pull the trigger and like a car comes out and runs.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. How would a gun car work?
That'd be funny. What was that old LucasArts game, the Armed and Dangerous, that had all the wacky weapons?
Yeah, the shark gun.
Had the shark gun. Yeah, you would pull the trigger and a shark would go through the ground and come up and eat somebody. Yeah.
So that's a shark gun. But then what would a gun shark be?
Would be a gun shark. What's a gun shark? I don't know. It would be a shark and all of his teeth are guns. Oh. And when they bite you, they shoot you 1,000 times.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's a dog with bees in his mouth, and when he barks, he shoots bees at you.
Sounds very dangerous. Okay.
I think we're good. I feel satisfied.
Okay, yeah. Chat's chiming in. It says a car gun shoots cars. Okay, we got that. Similar to the rocket lawn chair in Gary's mod.
I don't know what the rocket lawn chair is. I'll have to look that up.
I don't know what it is in Gary's mod. It's like it makes me think of Metal Slug, the rocket launcher.
Is it a rocket launcher that shoots lawn chairs?
Well, so I don't know what it is in Gary's mod, but the thing in Metal Slug is when you pick up the rocket launcher, the voice clip that announces it sounds like rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher.
Oh, well, that's funny.
So now it's just a meme. So I'm glad that they rebuilt it or reimagined it for Gary's mod. Do we answer that question? How would a car gun work?
Or what food group would a car gun fall into? I think we're good. I think
Let's
we're
halfway
good.
between gun and car, I think. Okay, so no, let's move on. We got a few more of these to go through.
Perhaps you don't understand the concept of the lightning round.
What is not in your Taco Bell order?
Meat or cheese.
Meat
It's
or cheese.
like I have the least interesting answer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of that like cheesy something or other, cheesy gordita crunch, cheesy whatever. Like, yeah, I can't do the cheesy. I'm sorry, unfortunately, at Taco Bell. So yeah, mine's not terribly interesting.
No.
It's tasty, but whenever they do like the funky, like the grilled cheese chicken burrito, like, oh, well, I'm out on all counts on that one.
No, the grilled cheese items are the worst. What is not in my order? Anything with like the chicken or steak in it. I feel like just give me the weird Taco Bell ground beef.
Yep.
That's why I'm there. And also, so recently they've been doing like spicy versions of everything on their menu, which sounds good. But then it just turns out that it means they add jalapenos, like pickled jalapenos to it, which I feel like doesn't work with pretty much any item on the menu. Like I really like their like the fire sauce and the Diablo sauce.
Yeah.
But man, pickled jalapenos are like, you have to be very careful about how you apply those.
Yeah.
And
yes.
it just doesn't work.
I like
with
spicy, but I
Taco Bell
like
stuff.
spicy to be like a constant level of heat. Like every bite has a little spice in it, and the pickled jalapeno thing is like the bite that has the jalapeno is the spiciest bite.
Yeah.
And like I don't want that like heat bomb. I want it to be more of a like a nice, reliable like 6 like across the board, rather than most bites being a 2 or a 3, and then every now and then you get an 8.
Yeah, you want consistency in your in
Right.
whatever you're ordering.
Yep. Do you have Moe's? You have a Moe's burrito place near you? Is that a thing?
I don't think I have Moe's. No.
No. Moe's does chopped pickled jalapenos, and they'll kind of sprinkle them in your burrito bowl.
Okay.
So you get a little chopped up bit of pickled jalapeno in every bite, and like that works because that's that nice spread.
So I feel like jalapenos are have such a standout flavor. It just takes me out of whatever I'm eating.
Even beyond the heat, there's the jalapeno flavor.
Yeah, it just really ruins my immersion. Don't care for it.
I like jalapenos.
Yeah, like once in a while, like on nachos.
Yeah,
that's the best place to have a pickled jalapeno, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. On a burger, I have a pickled jalapeno relish. That's really good on a burger.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The burger is, of course, in this scenario, a veggie burger.
Yes. Yeah. Black bean burger or something.
Right. Yeah.
An
impossible situation.
You can't just like carelessly add pickled jalapenos to things. Please, just think about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
What is your most anticipated game at this point? Presumably a 2024 game.
What's the game I'm most excited about coming in 2024 right now?
Yeah.
Yakuza Infinite Wealth.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Are you really excited?
I can't wait to spend $70 on that game. There's your Infinite Wealth. No, I am like looking at I have a little list of games in my phone of like things I want to play that are coming next year, yada yada, and like the one that I'm most excited about easily is the one that comes out first is Infinite Wealth. So I really want to play. I had a really good time with Yakuza 7. Like what a mind-blowing experience it was to finally sort of discover this series along with you and Paul, who have loved it forever. It took going turn-based for me to get on board, but I really like that game. It was a lot of fun. I put a lot of hours into it too, and I'm looking forward to playing the new one. Yeah,
that's probably my answer as well. I mean, my real answer is Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, but putting that aside, I'm really curious about Infinite Wealth. I'm very curious about the Hawaii setting. I think that has the potential to be a lot of fun. It's interesting that it's set in, outside of Japan. But also Hawaii. I have a lot of connection with Hawaii, so that should be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, cool.
And it's been a while since I played a Yakuza game, which I just played that Ishin. So I don't know. It's been a while since I checked in on Ichiban, so it'll be good to see what he's been up to.
You need your thrice yearly Yakuza game now, right?
Yeah. I need to go back and finish Ishin at some point. I haven't even played the there's like this little side story thing that came out, which could be cool. People seem to like.
That's supposed to be brief, right? That's like a bridge to the new one. I think that's not a very long game.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like required for you to play the new one, but it's like more Kiryu. So people have been missing that guy.
Yeah. I don't have like the point of reference with all the like the original Yakuza games. Like I know because it's pop culture and because I have recorded a podcast with you for the last 11 years. So like it's in my brain, but like my entire reference for Yakuza hands-on anyways is 7. So it's a completely different lead character. It's a completely different sort of like format for combat in those games. So
I feel like you'd be fine skipping it. I want to play it though at some point, so I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah.
See if
Please.
if Ichiban makes it a cameo or something.
We'll talk about it eventually.
All right, next question. What was your food of 2023? That's an interesting question.
My food of 2023.
How do you determine your food of 2023? Like the best thing you ate?
Yeah, or a thing you ate often that you loved. Would be my sort of takeaway on that. I'm gonna go Taco Bell on this one. Taco Bell experimented with vegan nacho cheese sauce this year.
That's true. Yeah,
bonkers. It was insane how good it was, and how close it was to my memory of that weird orange cheese. So it was very satisfying for a brief period of time to be able to go to a Taco Bell to get something cheesy, which is not like a flavor profile I've been able to indulge at Taco Bell in like 15 years. So yeah, that was fun and exciting, and probably like the most like, oh, holy crap, it's happening, guys. And like, you know, vegan Reddit and vegan Facebook were like out of their minds. And we were all posting pictures of our first time having it and stuff like that. So it's, that was a very exciting, like 2023 food thing for me.
I think, I'll give them a shout out for the vegan nacho sauce, whatever it is. So convincing that
cheese sauce.
Yes, I'm still not sure that they actually gave me the vegan nacho sauce. I was like, is this the regular sauce? I honestly could not even tell. So like, good on them for being able to make something that's that convincing.
My mortal fear is getting like an Impossible Burger and there's a fake one, a real burger accidentally in there, and I can't tell the difference. Yeah. Because from my perspective, I haven't had like a meat burger in a long time. Yeah. The Impossibles are pretty close. So there's always that first bite where I'm like, did somebody screw up? Am I eating a dead animal? So I had that moment with the nacho cheese sauce where I'm like, this is too good. Yeah.
Yeah. Very confusing.
The bar for vegan cheese in general is so low. That Taco Bell had like the most exciting advancement in vegan cheese this year.
I mean, as somebody who's eaten a lot of the non-vegan nacho sauce, I couldn't tell you like how much that has to do with actual cheese to begin with. So right. Maybe it wasn't a huge leap to get to the vegan version.
Yeah.
I think Taco Bell has a real opportunity. Like I've talked to you about this before, but I think it would be so easy for them to replace the Taco Bell ground beef with like a vegan version of it, and nobody would even tell. You get everybody addicted to it, and they could like someday they just come out and be like, "Surprise! You guys have been eating like seitan or whatever for the last 20 years. You had no idea. You're all vegan. You're all vegans now." Who knows? Maybe that will happen at some point.
Yeah, there would be riots in the streets.
Yeah. Although, you know, if people just sat down and thought about it, they'd be like, well, it's actually pretty good.
And I'll be all, pull up, let him cook.
And then I'll just shoot myself in the head. Okay. What are the video game genres, and why aren't they like food genres?
Food genres?
I feel like this should have been asked an hour and a half ago.
What's your favorite genre of food?
What are the food genres? Is that like the food pyramid?
Is that like
Chinese food?
Indian, is that a
Mexican?
Genre? Is that like
yeah? What are the video? Well, I think we know what the video game genres are. Like those are all over the place. It's like first-person shooter, driving, RPG, right? Why aren't they like food genres? And are we agreeing the food genres are like regional
styles of food? Yeah,
styles of food.
Would vegan be a genre?
Or is it like soup sandwiches? I got in a lot of trouble recently on my I have a Discord with a bunch of my friends in it for saying that I wasn't a fan of soups.
Oh, I love a good soup.
I mean I like soup. I just feel like they're not very interesting. Is that a genre?
Is this is the hot dog a sandwich? Is this?
No, I hate that. I don't even want to bring that up. No, don't.
No, we're deliberately avoiding that.
Hot dog is not a sandwich.
Is a Pop-Tart an appropriate breakfast for an adult?
I don't know. It's an appropriate breakfast for any age. I'm a big subscriber to. Have you seen the cube theory for like sandwiches or for foods? It's like it. You can't see this if you're listening to the audio version of this, but it classifies your food based on where the bread is located. So it's like here you have this is the sandwich. And this with like a bottom is a taco, and then if it goes all the way around, it's a burrito. And I was like, okay, I think I'm on board with this. So a hot dog is a taco.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But no, I feel like people who are like, oh, is a hot dog a sandwich? Are just like the worst people alive.
I'm sorry to hear this. Christ.
Like nobody needs to discuss this. But what was the question? What are the video game genres? Isn't it
action,
it's just
adventure,
action, adventure? Yeah, exactly. Action, adventure, puzzle, rhythm, shooter.
Yeah.
Why aren't they like food genres?
What's a food genre? I think that's we have follow-up questions.
This is such a complicated question. This is from Eshin. Yeah. Why are you just causing? Oh no! This is from Milkman. Milkman's in the chat. We can just grill him about this right now. What's your problem?
We'll get some clarification. What's your damage?
I don't know how to answer this question.
Milkman, we have follow-up questions. You're going to have to clue us in. We'll have to record an addendum in 2024.
Why aren't they like the food genres? What if every like geographical region could only make one type of video game? And we were just stuck with it. Like, Japan can make the RPGs. America, I guess, can make first-person shooters. Europe, England, I would say, can do like racing games, driving games. They love those.
Rally games.
It's just only rally games from now on.
Just rally games, yeah.
Oh man, rally games and like Wipeout.
So if only Japan was allowed to make RPGs, what would we be missing? You wouldn't get your Mass Effects.
You wouldn't get like, that's fine. I could give up Mass Effect if we keep getting like Final Fantasy games.
If this is the way we went, yeah.
I feel like a lot of those BioWare games are overrated.
I mean, you lose Mario Kart if that was the case. If only England could make racing games.
What if they made? Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this point, I'd be okay with losing Mario Kart. The last few Mario Karts have not been that interesting, I don't think.
I'd like 26 million people disagree with you, but
I mean, they're still fun.
Yeah,
I just feel like it peaked with Mario Kart DS.
Yeah.
What is Canada making? What are they working on?
Farming games. They get all these things.
Oh, man, can you get in trouble here?
Okay.
BioWare was in Canada, right? So maybe there's a loophole here. Maybe we could still have Mass Effect. Maybe we can still have Western RPGs. Were they in Edmonton?
Who makes the horror games? Somebody has to get horror. Germany gets horror.
Germany. I really liked the Taiwan. I think they're in Taiwan. Devotion, the one that was like banned from Steam.
Oh yeah,
was so good. They should just keep doing those. Chilla's Art is in Japan.
The Chilla's one, yeah.
So that's spoken for. But no, give it to Red Candle Games. They're in Taiwan.
Okay, so here's the rule then. If countries can only make one type of game, every 5 years they get to rotate.
Oh, they get to rotate? Okay.
So for 5 years, Japan only gets RPGs, but then for the next 5 years, they get all the racing games.
Okay.
Then for the next 5 years, they get all the horror games. And then, and then for a while, America gets the racing games, and England gets the first-person shooters or something.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah, they should just everybody switch.
Yeah. All right, let's get Jeff Keighley on the phone. We can make it happen. He speaks for us.
Why does it always come back to Jeff Keighley? Does that answer the question?
He's all we've got. Jeff Keighley's he's the last hope.
What a depressing thought.
This is where I hold up a sign that says wrap it up.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, speaking of wrap it up, next question. Another one from Ruscino. If you both had to fight to the death, what would your individual tactics be, and who do you think would win?
Oh.
I don't know. Should I reveal that on the show? That feels like I'm just setting myself up.
This is the 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. This is the
I don't want to give away my tactics right here.
I don't know, if I'm
I would just camp in the corner. Let's be realistic. I would just wait I'm always just waiting out the other person. I'm way more patient than whoever else is involved.
Just hiding in a cabinet hoping the monster goes by.
Yeah, I'm just I will just wait in the cabinet as long as it takes for them to just be like, and when I say them, I mean you. For you to just be like, I can't deal with it. Where is he? And then you walk out into the middle of the room and I just snipe you in the head.
I like a heavy weapon. I like a heavy melee weapon. Those are always fun in video games. And so this is going to get super weird now. One of the retail, finally, it's going to get weird.
I'm here for it.
So one of the resale jobs I've had, they were called face outs. You would have slant wall and you would put the face out in the wall and it would kind of click into it and you could hang hangers on it. You could put clothing on it. It's a post essentially that you hang and display clothing on. And the ones that we have at my last retail job were heavy, were like steel, forged and welded and had this heavy wall mount with a magnet in it.
Wait, the thing that goes on the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a heavy piece of 18-inch long steel. And every time I had one doing merchandising or anything like that in my hand, this is my zombie apocalypse weapon. I want a bag of these to just cleave zombies in the head. So that's maybe that's my answer. Maybe I'm Negan with Lucille with the baseball bat with the nails in it. That's my weapon, DJ.
Okay. I feel like it's automatic disadvantage going picking a melee weapon in this situation. But realistically, I don't even like sniper rifles a lot of the time. I would probably go with a pistol. But I'd still be just waiting in the corner for you to make a mistake.
This is a pistol with 2 bullets left in it. It's the last 5 minutes of Die Hard. You've got
Well, okay, so it's not a pistol. It's specifically it's a magnum or a hand cannon or whatever. So it's one of those where you don't get a lot of bullets in it, but it doesn't take a lot of those bullets to do the job.
It's heavy damage with 1.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
All right, we'll see how this goes.
All right. Well, this got weirdly confrontational.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Oh man. Who do you think would win? Is the second part of that question.
I don't know.
Can we just call it a draw? I hate, can we just agree to disagree?
We live together peacefully.
Yeah. It was all a misunderstanding.
We decide to put our weapons down. Right, yeah. It's all this big misunderstanding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
DJ and I live in his little cabinet together forever.
All right. Good. I like a good cop-out answer question. All right. We have another call from...
I don't know.
From Green Captain.
What's your favorite French fry condiment, if any?
Then I feel like we should start lightning rounding these because we're going to be here all night. I like...
Okay.
I like not ketchup, not American ketchup, but Euro ketchup. I love this because it sounds like a very elitist answer, but it's basically ketchup without all the sugar in it, and it actually tastes like tomatoes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't think I've ever had Euro ketchup. Is that everybody loses their mind over Japanese mayonnaise, the Kewpie mayonnaise? I
don't know. I don't know where I stand on Japanese mayonnaise. The last time I went to Europe, I was like. Okay, the ketchup. Not that I spent the entire time eating ketchup, but I was like, man, the ketchup is better here. Why don't we have that over here? And it's been I've sought it out in the U.S. and it's just hard to find. It's better without all the sugar.
Not somebody doing just shovels full of sugar into the ketchup vat.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, ketchup is fine. I like sweet ketchup. I think that's good too. Again,
I'm not going to complain about Heinz or whatever. but the less
your
sugar, I think.
High fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good standby. Like, what's a good dipper? Like, are you familiar with campfire sauce?
What is campfire sauce?
It's a 50-50 barbecue sauce with mayonnaise. It's like a barbecue aioli. And it's like a little smoky, but it's also like a little savory, creamy. I can reproduce it super easily with like veganese and barbecue sauce, like just bottled like Target barbecue sauce, and it comes out great. And it's a good dippy for tater tots. It's really like my preferred tot dip.
Preferred. Okay, I don't think I've ever had it, but I could see that working pretty well.
Yeah. Should whip some of that up. I'll send you one. I'll send you this beer and some campfire sauce.
Just a Ziploc bag of campfire sauce.
I'll pour some beer in a Ziploc bag and seal it up, put it in an envelope, and mail it off to you.
Okay, I can't wait. I do really like the nacho sauce at Taco Bell. I feel like as soon as nacho fries arrived on the scene, it took them so little effort to just demolish every other fast food French fry out there, and it was so obvious.
Yeah, I don't necessarily associate it with a French fry sauce, but like the sauces from Taco Bell like are part of my Taco Bell experience. Like if it gets to the drive-thru and they're like, "Would you like hot, fire, or mild?" and I tell them I want hot, and then I get home and they didn't put it in my bag, I'm angry.
Oh yeah,
now I have to eat this without sauce. Yeah,
it's like, what's the point? This is getting a little off topic, or maybe not too much. But I went to a restaurant where they would serve not French fries, but they like potato chips, like sort of fresh sliced potato chips.
Oh, nice.
And they would still do a dipping sauce with it. Mm. And I was just like, I had never even considered that you could dip potato chips in something. This is a whole new world of possibilities to me.
There's a whole category called dips.
Yes, well, I mean, I've never been into like
chips and dips, man.
Chips and dips. It's not really been my thing, but that was real eye opening. But just like, potato chips and ketchup. Why wouldn't you do that? Okay, next question.
Okay, are you drunk enough for this one yet? Have you ever stolen anything or shoplifted anything?
Yes.
We could leave it at that.
I've confessed to this on the show before. I stole my first Game Boy.
Stole a Game Boy?
Mm-hmm.
That is a serious... Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What did you... Yeah. What were you stealing the Game Boy?
Have I not confessed this on the show before?
It sounds like I wouldn't put it... it sounds plausible.
I was a young person from a store in the mall. And I pulled it off.
You did it.
The heist of the century.
Yeah. Why were you shoplifting the Game Boy? Was it you really excited to play Alleyway or something?
I don't remember what game I was even wanted to. Tetris, probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, you got away with it. Well, good for you.
I did. Yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah. As an adult, I've spent most of my life in retail, and a lot of my livelihood now hinges on stopping people from stealing from me. So I've definitely sort of landed on the other side of the law on that one. But no, as a kid, I was a little more open to that possibility.
All right.
I'm definitely like the person at the self-checkout at the grocery store is where most people steal now. Mm-hmm. And I'm honest to a fault when it comes to that stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't think this scanned. I better go back and make sure I get paid for it. Yeah.
When I first heard about people doing the self-checkout scams, I was my brain exploded. I was like, that didn't even occur to me that you would just be like, oh yeah, oh, bananas? No, I'm going to put that sticker on a PlayStation or whatever. I was
on a Game Boy.
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, so maybe that just goes without saying. I've never shoplifted anything. I did, I downloaded a lot of music when I was in college. I don't know I don't know what the stance is on that is, but I was definitely okay with that for a while too. Yeah, never shoplifted anything physical. There was it was kind of sort of just an in-joke in my group of friends, my circle of friends in the dorms freshman year, where we would all go to the dining commons. And people would like take stuff out of there. I don't think you were really supposed to take stuff like leftovers or whatever, but people would put stuff in their bag or like cupcakes or muffins or whatever. But
for later.
Yeah, for later, for snacks. We were all, freshmen and didn't have any money.
Hungry college kids, yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason, there was like this big bottle of olive oil that was... No, sorry. Balsamic vinegar. At the salad bar. It was like this big. It was like a bowling pin kind of size thing. And I don't know who came up with this, but my circle of friends just decided like it was like the trophy if you could get out of the dining commons with this bottle of balsamic vinegar. And like nobody's gonna do anything with this. So you're not like making like a salad or whatever back in the dorm room. It was just sort of this thing. It was like, yeah, can you make it out of there with this bottle?
The thrill of the hunt.
Because it's huge and it's absurd. Yeah, and it was just like a rite of passage. Like, oh man, have you stolen the vinegar yet? And the one time I attempted it, I had it. And I was like 5 feet out the door. And there was like somebody at the door. There was like staff at the dining commons. I forget what they're doing. They were just like signing people out or something. Or just making sure people didn't steal a bottle of balsamic vinegar, I guess. Yeah. And I was 5 feet out the door, and then I heard this like, "Hey!" And I knew it was like the person who had just like signed me out or whatever, who saw me carrying this bottle of vinegar. So it's like, all right, jigs up. I just put it on the ground and I get out of there.
And then went back the next morning for breakfast. Right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's me again. What's good? What looks good?
Better keep an eye on me.
Yeah. But no, so I got close to stealing something, but not quite.
That's pretty good. 5 feet out the door.
5 feet? Yeah, it was pretty close. Probably more than 5 feet.
Retail,
maybe
retail
like 10
rules,
feet.
that means you win. Yeah.
We're always... That's it.
We're always told that like don't pursue. Because that's the most dangerous thing is like you lose your home base advantage. Like in the store, you have kind of control, but once they get out into the mall or God forbid at the parking lot or parking garage, you no longer have that advantage, and
sure.
It's quite dangerous for employees. So the guidance was always, the training was always, don't pursue. Once they get 5 feet outside the bubble of your front door, they've won. Live to fight another day.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy now. Like I hear all these stories about people just going into like an Apple store and loading up, and employees are just like, oh. Don't make things, don't escalate,
The ORC, the organized retail crime. Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy. So
yep.
Now's the time. Now's the time to get in on this, the balsamic vinegar.
Fill up on balsamic, guys. Yeah. They're not stopping anybody.
Oh, man. Apologies to everybody working the dining commons back then. That was not the greatest thing to do.
Regrets. I've had a few.
Oh man. Okay, we have a surprise question from Green Captain.
DJ, you have to sit this one out. This one's for Randy, and no advance notice. Randy, can you recite the Space, the Final Frontier opening dialogue from Star Trek?
Space, the
Final Frontier. Wait. So before you get started, I have some background music to accompany you.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just going to set this up and you just go for it.
We're going to get a copyright strike on this. Space, the Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise and her crew. Their continuing mission to seek out new life, to explore brave new worlds, to boldly go where no man/person has gone before.
That's amazing. I think that's it. I think you nailed it. I'm going to skip ahead.
Did I get it? That's and then it turns into like disco dance.
That was pretty good.
Was it? Did I have it? Was I there?
I want to say that's like a B-. But I think you got all the key points. You got These Are the Voyages. You got Strange New Worlds, New Civilizations. That's pretty good.
New Civilizations. I didn't have that one in my head.
Oh, I thought you said that. I just automatically filled in the blanks, I guess.
Gave me credit on that one, yeah.
Yeah, but no, that was impressive. I wasn't sure where that was going to go.
Is there a second verse? Is it like Jingle Bells where like there's a second verse and nobody knows it?
William Shatner starts talking again during the intro. Just like, wait, I wasn't done. No, that's good. That was good.
The second verse is the cover of William Shatner doing Pulp's Common People.
Yes, doing Mr. Tambourine Man or whatever.
I want to live like common people.
Oh, man. All right.
Wow. On the spot.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I'm impressed.
Drum that
I'm
up.
impressed. Yeah, especially after however many beers that was.
Never seen one episode.
Okay. Let's put you on the same footing with J.J. Abrams. Okay, we have.
I mean, I've seen those movies. I like those movies.
I'm just saying, in terms of the preparation you did.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've done the same amount of research as J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Okay. We have one final call from Peters in the Discord.
Hey, yo, what's going on? Number one podcast for Hangover and games and Hangover games. Yo, this is Peters from Discord. I got a question for y'all. Check it out. How would they introduce you guys if you were the subject of a Tekken 8 character reveal trailer? You know what I mean? You seen those videos before? Like the ones that were like, Tekken 8, new challenger, smack log, attack! You know? How would they say the name of that? Alright? Peace.
Okay, so I don't know how much of that you could hear on the stream, but the question was, how would you introduce yourself as if you were a new character being revealed in Tekken 8?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't have the point of reference on this, and DJ shared a video with me to study up and prepare.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with these Tekken 8 character intros, but they've been doing this series of videos leading up to release whenever there's a new character they reveal. And the narration is done by this. So first of all, it's a woman. This surprises a lot of people. Named Lenny Hart, I believe, and she's actually an announcer for I think like Japanese pro wrestling or MMA.
Oh, that makes
so
sense.
like this is her job. She does an incredible job doing these trailers, but she has a very distinctive style to them.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of like rolled R's and things like that, which I don't have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The video you shared was funny. We'll put a link to that in the show notes if anybody wants to check it out. It does not get the context on this, but this person is working hard at introducing these characters. And the occasional one is funny though, that like there's some characters that are just like one word names, and they'll be like very complex and like theatrical, ornate like pronunciations of these names. And then there's like King.
Yes.
Like, there's not really a way to do that one funny.
Sometimes it seems like there's not a lot for her to work with, but she manages. She comes up with a unique sort of reading every single time, which is impressive. Yeah.
There is one in there that's very metal. That's sort of like, I forget what the character's name is, but she like, it does like a blow kind of thing on the end of there. Whatever it'd be like Randy Dig It Down. So like I like that one. If somebody's gonna like do my introduction, I want like let's make it metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we want to hear.
I think I just did it. Did I not just do it?
Oh no, well see I'm gonna set you up. We gotta get the background music going, but then what we want to hear is we want to get the full text of the video. So we want to hear Tekken 8, new challenger, and then introduce yourself.
Ready?
So wait a minute.
No, not yet. We're not doing it yet.
Here we go. No, it's supposed to be, Tekken 8, etc.
You're a very bad voiceover director, DJ.
Okay.
New challenger. Ready? Take it on.
That was incredible. I feel like she's in the room. She's on the call right now.
I'm sweating. That was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody can do it for a living.
Hopefully this fighting game only has 5 or 6 characters.
Okay, so let's see. I got to think about this. I also can't really do the R rolling thing, which is unfortunate. I feel like that gives her.
That's too bad because you've got a good R there.
I know. It feels obvious choice. but it would be like Tekken 8 New Challenger DJ Ross. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I was like right there. I'm ready to play.
Just right there.
I got my quarter up. I'm next. I got next.
All right. You heard it here first. Both of us are new characters in Tekken 8. I think we're the Season 1 DLC characters. So that'll be good.
Excellent.
Oh, man. Okay. I think we've just about made it. We have closing thoughts from, once again, it is Green Captain.
Well, that does it for my questions. But as always, just to wrap up, thank you for everything. Thank you for doing the show and being there week after week and sharing your thoughts and not selling out to the man. Well, I mean, selling out is somewhat okay because it gives you money, but still, you know what I mean. And hey, here's to another year of video game hangovers.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I think we would sell out. If somebody offered, we would sell out.
I'm waiting. I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
Like, just give me the chance.
If anybody knows a guy there, we have a very reasonable price.
You'd be surprised how low the bar is.
Yeah. So yeah, this is not really us like sticking to our guns and it's sort of proudly being independent. It's just no one's offered. So it's but if it's like, next year we tune in and it's Jeff Keighley presents the video game hangover, I don't know, dance and variety hour with your host Jeff Keighley, then we've cashed a check somewhere and we're sitting on a beach in Barbados.
Oh, if only. If only.
But thank you, Green Captain. Thanks to everybody who contributed. We appreciate it immensely. Green Captain putting in serious work. Eshin and the goddamn Milkman and geez, everybody came with multiple questions this year and gave us. We are eating well this year.
Oh my god!
So thank you to everybody for making this mess possible.
Oh my god! I'm gonna have to lie down a minute. Oh man! Thank you everybody who has stuck with us in the chat. Let's see, it was the Milkman.
Been quite an undertaking. Yeah.
Deadly Gearhead, Creed 8, Rabbit Heart, everybody, the usual suspects. It's been quite a show this year. So we really appreciate all the support just hanging out this evening.
I think we sufficiently made up for all the weeks that I skipped this year.
I think we're good. Nobody's gonna hold that to you. Deadly Gearhead says VG Hangover for life. Yes.
It certainly feels like that from where I'm sitting. Yes. You're not wrong. No, this has been a delight. What a treat it is to be able to sort of hang out with DJ and chat about video games. I feel like I say some version of this every year, and it continues to be true. I think DJ and I would probably still chat about games on a semi-regular basis, even if we didn't have this forum. So it continues to be fun and something I certainly look forward to doing every single week. So
yeah.
So happy holidays, happy New Year! Thank you for another fun year of doing this.
Happy holidays! Thank you, Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. Who was saying that? Like, man, you just gotta check in. Apologies again to people just listening to the audio. The blue bottle, empty. The little eyeball guy. Also, we've been doing some work here. Is my point. So
good job. I have a row of empty cans on my desk.
Excellent.
Trying to wrap up this guy here.
I'm gonna put the cap back on this one because I think I'm trying to cut myself off. But we made it through. We made it through another year.
Wait, you're not driving home, are you?
I hope not.
Yeah, we've wrapped it up. Yet another Drunktacular, another year of recording podcasts.
Yeah. Season
So
13 for people keeping track at home. So
yeah. So we're going to take a little break. We'll be back in early January with kind of our favorite games of the year and some other fun stuff we have planned for you. And we'll do this thing again.
Yeah.
Do you want to remind folks about Extra Life? That's probably a good opportunity here.
Yeah, we still you still have an opportunity to donate to Extra Life, to Team VGH. If you haven't this year, we've done. We've always had an incredible amount of support this year, but donations are open until December 31st. If you want to send a few bucks in support of children's hospitals, that would be terrific. You can go to VGHangover.com/extralife to get all the information. Again, until December 31st, and then the 2024 campaign begins. So,
yeah. Cool. If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, you should follow us on Twitter. What are we? Twitter.com/VGHangover. Keep an eye on that or on our Discord for news on when we'll be back and when the new season will start. You can get an invite to our Discord at VGHangover.com. You can also get show notes, links, tell us what you thought about this mess of an episode that I'm struggling to wrap up at VGHangover.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on your podcasting app of choice. And hey, while you're hanging out over the holidays with your nerdy little friends, tell them about this cool, like, scrappy, independent podcast that you're a fan of, and you somehow spent 3.5 hours on a Friday night listening to us talk. That should sound much nicer than maybe it came out.
yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going to be in a bit of a break. We'll be back sometime in January. I always want to give a shout out to Awesome Games Done Quick, which is an amazing speed running event for charity. You can check them out at gamesdonequick.com from January 14th to the 21st. Hopefully we'll be back on the air by then, but I always forget to give them a shout out. So definitely worth watching if you've never seen a speed running marathon. A lot of crazy stuff happens. Again, you get the link at VGHangover.com.
Save the date.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back next year. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Salut. Salut. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Good night. Thank you.
Have a good night.